Welcome to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight we have got Mountain West Overwatch for you, featuring a cavalcade of games that are sure to test the Broncos and their biggest rivals in the Mountain West Conference. We've got a lot of fun and excitement for you tonight, but before we get to all of that, we are going to have a little special competition of our own in-house. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer. Joining me, as you can see, there is Brenner Bear Ladd. And Brenner, tonight we have a lot to judge in terms of Overwatch, and we want to do a little bit something different. Now, normally we talk about, how the team does, how Boise State as a whole does in these tournaments. But tonight we wanted to start off with something a little bit different, a little bit of a showcase of some of the individual talent some of these players have to offer, if you will.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we always talk about team play and how, team play out-levels the individual skill. Well, tonight's all about the individual level of, it's going to be about the highlight reels and who has the best highlight reels, both of our players and some of the esports tower players that have contributed to this competition. And I do believe it's going to be even out of a bracket of 8 players. So we'll have to wait and see who's, going to be the flashiest, have the most skill, has the most impact in the game. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how these players kind of view themselves of what might be the best plays. Maybe it's their best heroes, something that we don't normally see in the team scene because, you have to play according to the team and what their style, what their composition might be rather than what you're best at.
Well, like Brenner said, Doc has asked 8 players to send in a highlight reel of their choice, and Brenner and I are going to judge them accordingly, seeing who is going to win in this little tournament of ours that we have set up. But let's just kind of go over the rules and how everything is going to work. Like I said, this is going to be a best of 8 with 3 categories with a maximum of 20 points being allocated to each. Brenner and I will each award our own points in impact, skill, and of course, style has the most possibility to impress us with 10 points maximum for that one. To see who is going to win in what I'm dubbing the first annual Try Hard Royale of Overwatch clips. And let's take a look at the overall bracket, of course, to see who we have to deal with, because we have got some familiar names from Boise State and some newer names from Esports Tower. As you can see right there, we have 3 Esports Tower players, 5 Boise State players. It looks like we're going to be starting out with Bagel and Plato. So just based on that initial matchup, Bear, what are your initial thoughts?
I mean, this is going to be a DPS player going up against a support hero, so it's definitely going to be hopefully 2 different plays of, what a support can do and what they can pull off and what the DPS does. So, when it comes to, flashiness, the DPS is definitely going to have it, but anything is possible with those supports because it could be as simple as, it's a Lucio environmental, or it could be something like we saw last week, which was Gob on the Baptiste and just goes full DPS role. I mean, these supports can't really do anything, especially with Bagel and Plato. I mean, really excited to see what these players have to offer.
Well, before we see the clips themselves, we just want to give some final advice from Doc himself in terms of what we want to be looking for in these individual clips. Those are going to be Doc's keys to the game in popping off, and that's to hog all of the gold medals because, of course, you want to be the star in these replays, not your team. Play to our caster, your caster's biases, and of course, tastefully emote. Use your BM effectively, I would say. Those are Doc's Keys to the Game, brought to you by Drop-In Gaming for the first annual Try Hard Royale. So we're just about ready to jump into all of the action. We're going to start out with, I do believe it was Plato first. He had the upper position on that bracket. So the production is going to load in the replay clips, and we're going to be ready to judge them.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious what heroes we're going to see and what kind of impact these have are, because out of the 3 categories, I definitely think impact is going to be one of the biggest ones. Same with styles. You mentioned having the 10 points of, if they got in, the spray, the emo, where they were on the map. Hopefully no one self-suicided, because I know that's going to be a huge detraction on my end of just, you committed this great play, but you weren't able to survive through it unless it's something situational like, you Reinhardt charge people off the edge. There's not much you can do to avoid that, so it's kind of an overcommit. But if you diva bomb with a baby diva and still end up dying, it's just kind of like, it's just
Yeah, it's all about kind of the story you have to tell. You've only got 24 seconds to really kind of prove to us why this play, of all things, was going to be the highlight. So there is a totally objective measure that we will apply to all of the replays, of course, not letting our own personal biases get in the way of anything, we assure you. And we're going to be ready to head into the first police replays right now. But first, we're going to see an example of what we're going to be looking for. I believe this is Doc himself sent this to all the players, an example of the kind of play he wanted.
A whole 2 seconds intro.
I know, a very forceful intro too. I mean, we did not. He wanted to make sure we got every single decibel possible out of that.
Yeah, for sure did. But already seeing that's a wrecking ball. Have to wait
All
to see
right,
what
here we go.
he's able to pull off.
Looks like we're on Eichenwald here. That's a pretty nice slam.
Gets the double. Finishes off with the well played. No emote though. Continues to spray when nobody's there. All right, good example. Good example.
Okay, so that's kind of interesting. I don't know how high I'd rank that on the skill thing, because I mean it's a nice spam, but in the end you're relying on other people walking into your minefield to make the play. So I don't know how highly I'd rate it on that metric there.
I mean, at least he was fulfilling his role of being the tank, going in, knocking them all up, ulting right on top of them. Got the double elimination at least, but again, you know, out of professional players and Doc being the coach is definitely going to be a skill difference there of, he got the 2 eliminations, but I'm expecting to see maybe some quads, maybe even a pent or 2. I'll be surprised if we see a whole solo team kill, like a proper ace from any of these highlights.
I don't know.
But, I mean, with how skilled some of our players are, it's totally possible.
Alrighty, we're just about ready to head into this first replay. Getting ready to load everything in. Again, we will be judging this on impact, skill, and style. And Bagel's going to be the first one, and I like Lucio first off here.
Yeah, it's his main, definitely style points of going through the entire map, no less.
Okay,
All
okay,
right.
well.
I mean, that's setting a very high bar right off the bat.
That is, yeah. Okay, so let's just go down the individual categories. We're going to start with impact, and I
mean, it's quad in a 6v6. I mean,
I know.
Big respect for that. I mean, it wasn't the whole team, but I mean, it's easily.
Well, and it was at the very beginning of the round 2, so there might have been plenty of time for that team to recover. So. I don't know. He got 4, so I'll give him a 4 out of 5. What say you?
Yeah, I would have to agree with that 4 out of 5 for the simple fact of, I mean, it was 4 people, just as you mentioned, and especially, and if we move on to the impact, I mean, you said
skill. We just did impact. We're doing skill.
Okay,
now.
there you go. So you just did impact. So now going on to skill, I mean, seeing how far he was just speeding by himself, knowing the map that perfectly, and how well he knows the hero of Lucio. It is his main, no less. I mean, it's definitely 5 out of 5 for me.
I would have to give it a 5
just a terrible too. Lucio.
Because it's not just like he pressed Q too. I mean, that's showing off his technical skill and everything here.
Yeah.
So both of us have given 9 out of 10 points so far, but now we get to the style. We can give a full 10 out of 10 here if we want to. And what are you thinking on terms of style?
I mean, he didn't emote. There was no spray.
That's true.
The skill level definitely ties into the styling of it. I mean, just being able to perfectly and flawlessly execute those maneuvers to get there faster than a Symmetra teleport could be set up and teleported into, and getting a quad. I think that has to be at least a 6 or a 7 for me.
Oh boy. I gotta say, in terms, it was a great play, but in terms of like the heart and the soul, like there were no cosmetics. It was only default skin. So I think the best I can give there is a 5, honestly.
All right.
You were saying 6 or 7, though. I need you to choose one for.
I'll go with 6. Wait to see what the future holds of.
All right.
Truly
that's
amazing.
14 points for me, 15 points for you. So Bagel gets a total of 29 for the first round. So now we're ready to see what competition he has. I do believe this was Play-Doh, so.
Yeah. DPS player expects something flashy for sure. And already he's going to be on the ult with the Genji. Ooh, was this a Nano Blade play? With the grab. Ooh.
That's pretty okay.
No nano. No nano, though.
No nano, but still working off the grab. Fortunately, Sigma kind of stole that ace from him. So.
Yeah, and it all started off with Soldier getting the site's first elimination onto somebody else.
Sure.
So teammate did die in
We
that
have
as
to
well.
do Impact, though. Best of 5 for Impact.
I mean, it's hard not to say it's a 5 out of 5 because that was a team kill.
That
and
is true.
Was on the 3rd point of Dorado, so it's
I gotta
definitely
give it a
huge
5.
impact. So that's definitely 5 out of 5 for that.
Skill.
Not so much. I
yeah,
mean, he was jumping around throwing the blade, didn't have the nano. They couldn't really fight him much because they were sitting in the grab. So at best 3, probably a 2.
I'm going to give a 2. Are you going to give a 3 or 2?
I'll give it a 2 because it's a Genji blade. It's always been super
and it's
strong.
easy. It's easy to hit them when they're not moving
Exactly.
at all. So
like,
I could have done that.
It was very given with the help of that Zarya. If anything, the Zarya was something to highlight, but that's not someone we got.
Alrighty, and overall, in terms of style, what are you thinking?
I mean, I respect the fact he didn't have the nano and still went in and was able to capitalize on it. But again, at least he had the skin. That's already better than what Bagel had on his end. But I mean, no spray, no nothing. Just went in, ulted, and that was it.
If I gave Bagel a 5 just for the skin, I'll give Plato here a 6.
See, whereas on my end, I would give him a 5.
Okay. Adding
back and
everything up here, 13 from me, 12 from you, 25 in total. So it looks like, based off the Lucio skill there, that's going to be Bagel moving on in that matchup. So congrats to Bagel. You're moving on here.
Support players seem to be the biggest tryhard of this first bout, but I believe coming up next are 2 of the esports towers. Or is this the Kel matchup? I don't remember.
No, 2 esports tower players, if I remember here. So a little bit of a chance for some different talent here. We can also take a look at the bracket before we get to these 2 replays here.
See where we're sitting with all 8 players. Now, one being eliminated, it's going to be Bun and Daydream.
Okay.
Daydream being that Mercy main that we know can definitely be very showy.
A Battle Mercy just automatically gets a lot of style points.
Oh, 100%. As a previous Mercy main of the days of old, I mean, if you come out with a Mercy play, I will definitely give you style points for being able to get a play on Mercy, no less, especially Battle Mercy and not getting eliminated. Those are going to be the 2 key details, so let's jump right into it.
All right, looks like we're going to do Bun first on a Widow, actually, so...
Some sharpshooting, hopefully. Ooh, it is a free-for-all as well.
2.
No skin. Does have gold gun.
Oh, this was an all-Widow matchup, it looked, except for one Lucio there. Which
always.
I don't know he was doing. Yeah.
But respectable quad.
Yeah.
As the typical Widow, just usually standing there, which, you know, is respectable. No skin has the golden gun, so...
Yeah. In terms of impact, that's hard. That's more difficult because
I mean, there's no impact because it's free for all. So it's just kind of like, how do you gauge that? I mean, if they got a quad, did we see it?
I think we
let's
saw
go
3.
to a replay of it.
Yeah, let's actually see
of whether or not they were in first place or not, because that would also be a huge impact. Like if
we
they
need to see this again here.
That'd be big impact.
We need to do another replay here.
Oh,
he was well, but look, 140. I don't know.
This match had been going on for a long time.
Yeah, but at that point, you're kind of setting things up that this match really isn't for anything right now. So I don't know.
That has to be an impact of 0 then.
Yeah, I'll give a 1. Okay.
I would have to give a 0. I mean, nothing happened.
Okay,
like,
a 0.
It was really flashy. There was some style to it and everything, but nothing happened.
Okay. Well, then we can go to skill then. Maybe that's something.
Sure.
I'll give it a 3. I mean, I think there's some great aiming there, but I don't want to see any misses. Like, if you're going to bring out a Widowmaker play of the game, I just want to see one after the other. Head click, head click, head click right there.
Yeah, I couldn't definitely agree with you, and I definitely respect anyone who can hit a headshot while the person is mid-air. So on that basis alone, I will give a 4 because I know that is something I can't do, so I respect the skill.
Style, though, is...
Have the golden gun, and that's on a Widow, which most people usually don't do because it's a Widow. You can always go with an Ashe or a Hanzo instead. So there is a little bit...
I do like the synergy also of the Chateau. You know what I mean? Just whole character lore-wise, it fits in kind of the setting.
Yeah. Especially at a 10, I mean... It's hard
but there's no skin. I don't know. I'll do a 5.
I kind of want to give it a 3. No, ooh. For the style, though? Let's go with a 4.
All right.
Do 4.
That's 8 for you, 9 for me. Total score of 17. So
pretty low. So Daydream definitely has a
Right.
chance. And if it's a Battle Mercy, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to score you much higher just out of personal bias. I love a Mercy play, but it's a May.
a May. Okay.
Has a skin and a custom intro.
I like that.
Is with a Blizzard. 2 eliminations. Oh, it gets the
Picks.
3rd before the suicide. All right, all right.
Alrighty. So we can talk about impact there. Team already had the point, but it was stopping.
They were going up against the Amplification Matrix. They were right in the face of the tank, used the ice block, got a triple with an assisted, making it a quad. So, I mean, it was decent impact. I would give that a 3.
Yeah, that is probably a 3. It's keeping the point from being taken, and pretty good there. In terms of overall skill, I mean, it was right clicks, instead of opposed to just using the left click and just trying to mow them down.
Freeze
that
everybody,
way.
yeah. Hit a couple headshots, got the Reaper before you could even suicide, which is pretty good. Chasing him down, having the aggression and the confidence in a May. Had the golden gun as well with the skin and everything, so I want to give that a 4.
All right, I'll give it a 3. It's going to be a little bit tougher than normal. Then probably I have more right to as an Overwatch player. In terms of Overwatch skill for myself, I'm being way too critical here. But now we're doing style points here.
Had the skin, had the golden gun, had the custom intro. That's already better than a lot of the previous plays that we have seen. So that gives you an edge, but, I mean, it's a May. They're not really the most exciting plays to watch of it's left or right click and that's it. Like, we didn't see, the May wall. The ice block was a whole 2 seconds while somebody froze from the Blizzard. So I want to give it a 5.
All right. I was gonna give a 7, but you convinced me to lower that down the more you elaborated there. So we know who to blame. If they're going to be mad at me lowering my score, they know who to blame now.
I mean, Daydream a Mercy May not putting in a Mercy play is surprising to me. You're the one person I held out for to give me that Mercy play, but I'll take it.
Well, that's 12 from each of us, so that means 24. So that means Daydream is going to move on to the next
Clear
one.
victor there. But if they're going to be going up against that previous play of Bagel on that Lucio,
yeah, that's a tough
it'll
one.
definitely be interesting. But we're moving on to the next bracket as we take.
Okay, this is going to be Kel and Maxwell.
This will be interesting. This is our favorite off tank and one of the best DPSs in the collegiate scene, no less. So I'm very curious what heroes these 2 players have brought out. Any guesses?
I don't know. Well, if he's off tank, maybe we could see some great hog hooks. Those are always exciting.
Your go-to hog.
I know. Hey, if you bring that out, I'll give you a few extra points. Hey, we're playing to our biases here. It's actually going to be Kel, a.k.a. Bernie, on the McCree here.
Missing a lot. Gets a quick 2-piece. Flashbang 1. Ooh, clean final. Basic Overwatch spray, though.
Well, but it is a spray, though. So that is the first time we've seen it.
And not default skin. Did just have the plain blue one, but still not default.
Right.
No golden gun, I believe.
Yeah, and the intro animation was the
basic one.
Basic
nothing
one,
flashy.
so.
Okay, but on the side of Impact, it was a quad.
It was a quad, yes.
And I don't believe the cart had gotten to the checkpoint if we...
No, can I actually see that again?
Yeah,
I need to see the
for
context again. All right.
So no golden gun, check.
It's contested on the checkpoint. Okay, actually...
But they had already gotten it. So it was right
they've
after.
already got... okay, it was right after.
But he was the last member of his team alive that far
is
up.
true. Ooh.
So that was pretty good impact. I personally will give that a 5 out of 5 for impact. I respect it.
Yeah, I got to give a 5,
Being a solo McCree, getting a quad, finishing up the rest of the team. Yeah, they had just capped the point, but you held them there and just bought your team that much more time to come back. Big impact.
Well, what about skill then, like individual skill?
I would say the last 2 kills were pretty skill. I mean, he got the flashbang, clicked the head, immediately turned, got the 1 tap on the other Cassidy. So pretty good skill. 4 out of 5 for me.
Since I've been completely ruthless in skill, I'll do 3. In terms of
missed a lot of shots
in terms of style, he did miss shots though, so I'm taking away a point for everyone. He missed at the beginning, so he missed 2. He gets 2 taken away. Style though, this is we've been debating a lot here because he had the standard highlight intro, but he had a skin and he used a spray, but
no
it wasn't
golden gun.
no golden gun.
Was on an alt account. That's probably why.
Right.
So. I mean, rolled off the high ground, got the flashbang on the ground, didn't hit him directly or get the elimination with the flashbang, which is something that would have been big style points and skill for that matter. I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10.
Alrighty. I gave it a 7, but it all evens out to 15 from each of us, so 30. Which, out of a possible 40, isn't too bad. That's
pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty good.
Got a lot accomplished.
That's actually the highest one I think we've given so far.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely going to be about that impact. So now it's on to Maxwell with his ult of Make You Happy with an Echo.
Okay. Down the Mercy. Already has a triple.
Pocket Mercy is definitely got the golden and the spray.
Okay.
No skin, though.
No, so we're going to have to. But in terms of impact, I mean, that was a 5K.
Yes,
if I counted correctly.
Impact. That has to be 5 out of 5. 5
eliminations for 5. I mean, that's
you have
just,
to.
We don't need to debate that any. Skill.
Had a Pocket Mercy.
Right.
But I still respect the 5K. Was a lot of autos. Used the beam. Didn't hit anything with the mines. I'm going to give that a 4.
Well, if I gave the last one a 3, I got to give this one a 3. So, okay, and a style here.
Used the spray, had the gold.
Right.
No skin, no intro. Kind of evens out with the last one. Cause
yeah.
I'm going to stick to the same and say 6. I don't know if
I'm going to give a 6 too because of the default skin. Because if I'm giving a 7 based on the fact, there's still a spray there. That's 14 to 15. Oh, by 1 point, 30 to 29. Maxwell, you should have used the skin. You would have at least tied it up by doing that. But
I mean, I gave the same points for the style.
How many times have we said it? Skins equal wins.
I mean, it's very true, and at least they had the gold comparing to Kells, and same with the spray. They both had the base Overwatch spray, and I wish there was some bit more variety to it, but the off-tank takes it against both DPSs have not made it through with the flashy plays. You got something to talk about here, guys.
I know, yeah. I would have expected something more from the DPS mains, but I guess they're just
when you have a Pocket Mercy carrying you that hard, I mean...
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
well, now we'll move on to Panda and Nerdy. So this is kind of the first matchup between Esports Tower and a Boise State player. So this should be very interesting. Let's see what Panda is going... Oh, on the Hanzo with the sharpshooter.
Big style points already, looking very dapper. Boom, a lot of misses.
Ooh, but there's the sharpshooter.
1 elimination?
1?
What? 1? That's an impact of 1
that's
without
an
a
impact
question.
of 1, yeah.
Like, you ulted, didn't eliminate anyone with your ult. You hit 1 nice headshot midair, and that was it.
Skill?
Yeah,
I
hit
mean,
the 1 headshot
hit the
midair.
1, you get a 1.
I would say that's a 2.
Yeah, okay. You'll be a bit more generous. Style, though, I mean, that's probably the sharpest.
He was looking very good. Got the clean ult off.
I'll have to do a 4.
I respect it. I mean, 1 for each point. Had the goal.
Oh no, wait! I'm still doing it on a best of 5. No, I got in terms of style, I'll give that a 7 then. Yeah.
Wow, really? Because there was no spray. Had the custom intro. Had the gold. Had the skin. I would give that a 5.
Alrighty, and if we tally it
that
up,
spray to have the perfect.
I know, and you should have. I mean, the
categories.
sharpshooter's nice, but it's still only 1 elimination. 9 and 8, that makes it 17 from both of us. So not even getting half of the points possible.
Nerdy has a strong chance here, but
yeah, the advantage.
To come down to mostly style, these players have not been able to really get a 10 out of 10 yet. So
all right,
it's gonna be dicey to see what Nerdy can bring to us and. Lucio with the skin and custom intro.
Okay,
no
I
gold
like-
yet. No gold. All right.
We'll see with the minefield here.
It's the bounce up. Sees the duplicate bomb.
Oh,
Double boop into well. Got eliminated though.
Oh, that's ooh.
Big sad there.
Yeah, that's
So if I'm going
unfortunate.
into
Impact.
I would give that a 2. I mean, they didn't boop the Diva Bomb into the hole, which they could have done. They booped 2 people into the point when they didn't have control of it, if I'm remembering correctly. I would love to see a replay of that.
Yeah, I don't. Did they even win that engagement, or didn't look like they were going to win?
They
it?
got eliminated, which tells me probably didn't. They were contesting it, so we don't know who has control. No, they did have control because blue side is gaining percentage.
Okay.
But the elimination really takes away from that impact.
Yeah.
And they weren't even at 99. The enemy team was.
Right.
That's an impact of, I want to say 1 for me.
Okay.
I have to put that as a 1 for impact.
Okay. I'll have to. Yeah, I got to do a 1.
I mean, one of the people they eliminated was a Wrecking Ball. He can come back faster than almost any other character. So
skill?
I mean, a double boop on Well of Ilios of all things? I mean, that's the most likely map to get a environmental elimination.
Right, and it's pressing 1 button.
Yeah, didn't do anything beforehand.
I've been given too many 3s on skill. I'll do a 2.
I'll do a 2 as well. Yeah. That's
Style.
Had skin, Christmas skin, big props for me. Had the custom intro. That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
That's a 3 for me.
Ooh, that's
It's
harsh. Out of 10, I gotta say, out of 10.
It's pretty. There was no spray. You died at the end. There wasn't.
Oh right,
any
the die.
flashy,
Okay, yeah.
So it has to be.
If you die at the okay, that I'll be a
Dying at
bit
the
more
end-
generous. I'll give a 6.
Wow. All right.
Let's see. That's a 6 from you and a 9 from me. That is 15. So it looks like
that's
Panda.
our lowest one.
Actually, Panda moves on.
All right. So if we're going back to the bracket and seeing where we're sitting, I believe it is going to be Bagel taking on one of the esports towers.
Right.
It's going to be Daydream.
Yeah,
all right.
Bagel, Daydream,
so the 2
Kel, and
supports.
Panda. Okay.
So 2 supports, and then off tank, and I don't believe I remember what Panda
So
squad
if
is.
we're judging it in this round, then we should be like judging from a more support angle, I suppose.
Yeah, because these are both. Daydream was the Widow play, were they not?
No, Bun was the Widow play, and Daydream. Well, you know what? Let's get to it and just answer all these questions that we have.
Yeah,
let's review them. Let's first take
Back
a
to
look at
Bagel.
Bagels again,
Yeah, who had the great Lucio play.
and maybe there is something
Had the intro, but
custom intro. We weren't
default skin, no gold gun.
I mean, that's some.
I mean, the skill level on this will always just be astronomical. Eliminates both DPS, the main support, and main tank.
Yeah, but one thing I didn't notice there is he just stands there doing nothing at
be
the end.
emoting.
So, yeah,
Very
could
true.
be emo. I'm not sure.
It's less style points, but you have to compare it against Daydreams first.
Right,
I want to compare it to Daydreams before
Okay.
scoring it, personally.
Okay, let's see Daydreams now. All right, this was the May play. Yeah.
I mean, already really good off the bat of skin, gold gun, custom intro. Even standing on the other side of the amplification matrix taking fire, I mean, I respect it.
I do like the way the Reaper just turns around, tries to run. That's something I didn't pay too much attention to. That's pretty
Definitely a good play, but comparing the two is going to be pretty hard. I mean,
yeah.
The skill is definitely on the side of Bagel, but the style, I mean, he had much bigger impact, I would say, than Daydreams, but Daydream had the style, and where the style evens out between the two,
Yeah.
it's a hard decision for sure.
I would say skill and impact both go over to Bagel. The question is there enough style there from the May?
I mean, if we're judging it solely on the May, I think the style goes over to Lucio, but if we're doing it as the play in the whole, style goes to the May. Because, I mean, like you mentioned, the Reaver was really funny. They were standing on the other side of the amplification matrix, which is a pretty ballsy move, and still didn't die from that with 2 people facing them with amplification matrix. Continue to push forward, get the eliminations.
Well,
pretty styling on them. I mean, you can't even eliminate
if we're a bit torn here, I think we might want to throw this over to production here and get their vote on it.
Yeah, I'm more than happy
to. Let's give them the choice of who makes it. We can.
So you're voting for Bagel. I'm for May, correct?
Sure. Yeah. Right. If that's what makes it to a tie, that production.
Sure.
I think we have a camera into production here, so we can probably communicate with them that way. So we can just take a quick look into the control. Looks like they're discussing right now. Okay, if you want Bagel to move on, hold up one finger. If you want...
just raise hand.
Or just raise hand. I guess we could, yeah.
Much easier. Ooh, got final picks. No one for Bagel, or are they still discussing?
Okay. If you think Bagel, raise your hand.
Oh,
okay, it's pretty unanimous
right.
over to Bagel. Production moves Bagel on to the next round. Thank you very much.
I tried.
You hate to see it. It goes down to the judges.
I mean, we are the judges, but the secondary judges.
The secondary judges.
The tiebreakers. But
the more judgy of the judges, because they're behind the scenes. So it has the more impact, I suppose, more tension.
Bagel takes it. So,
all right, let's take a look again here.
Bagel's in the bracket now. It's between Kel and Panda Squad.
Kel and Panda. Okay, let's see Kel's again.
I mean, preemptively from what I remember, I think Kel might take this with these Cole Cassidy plays. I don't know. Did miss 2 shots, but immediately picked it back up.
And the one tap. Ooh, that's...
Got the spray.
I gotta say, looking back, Kel is one of the only people who sprayed at this point. You know what I mean?
True.
Like we were talking so much, we were hyping so much about you gotta spray, you gotta put, and Kel was really the only one to do it.
Well, his opponent Maxwell did spray on that Echo as well. They were on top of the pill and used it, but Kel just did it better, I guess. Even with a quad going up against a Penta, which is really interesting, but that Mercy really
okay. Let's see Panda again, just to
for sure,
because I think I'm leaning towards Kel, but. One more again. Oh, yeah.
The sharpshooter. I mean, I'm already going to say it has to go to Kel. The scouting arrow missed a ton of the shots, only went when she went up in the air. It was a clean shot, but...
If there were more eliminations on style, I mean, I think that's my favorite cosmetic I've seen so far. I mean, it is just really nice with the golden bow. I mean, it set it up so well, it's just the play itself is lacking.
Single elimination going up against a quad?
I got to give it to Kel.
I agree. It has to go to Kel.
Alrighty, so now we're going to see the final matchup, Bagel and Kel in
Boise State,
the Tryhard Royale. So we're going to see, let's see one more time from each player here. Let's see this one more time.
I mean, the Lucio going up against a Cole Cassidy is definitely... I think style has to go over to Kel. He has the skin, gets the spray. Bagel doesn't have anything other than the custom intro, which Kel doesn't have. And to point out, Bagel does eliminate a Cole Cassidy.
That is true. Okay, let's see Kel's one more time.
Hop over to the Cole Cassidy play on Blizzard World, so even extra style for that, because
I think they're pretty even in terms of in style. Ooh, that's just... I mean, I think they would be pretty even because Bagel had the custom intro, whereas Kel has the skin. But I think the spray makes it just a little bit of an edge out for Kyle there.
Also, on the
Kel, excuse me.
On the side of skill, we see Kel utilize both of his abilities, doesn't ult, whereas on the side of Bagel, he just uses speed and a right click and nothing else.
Right.
So now, Kel was much more involved.
One thing I do want to point out is that the Bagel play, that was from a tournament match. So if we're talking about impact at the beginning,
pretty big winning that first team fight, something Doc stresses all the time.
Right.
So that's definitely a huge impact. And same with Kel's, though. I mean, they had just lost the point. They might have been almost team-wiped at that point. We saw at least 4 members coming back from Spawn.
Okay, I think we need to do a full score on this one because there's too much back and forth. So let's go again. Let's focus on Bagel right now for impact. Okay. I didn't know it was a tournament match, so that kind of...
I mean... It's still the first fight, and it's
That's
still.
true.
If we actually, I want to see the replay of Bagels one more time because I want to see if it was, a best of 3 control. Was it the very first map, or was it, the second or third map? If we take a quick look back on it, because it is Lijiang
Well,
Tower.
it's always either the first or fifth.
It is the very first. So the impact, the point hadn't even unlocked yet.
That's true. I mean, well, yeah, there's 20 seconds left until the point unlocks. So actually taking that into account.
The impact is very low, other than just
3?
morale victory. So
I'll give it a 3.
I would go 3 as well.
Okay.
I think that is the correct pick for that.
Skill, if I'm still judging for Lucio play, I still have to give that a 5.
For Lucio play of the skill, I guess there's not much aside of abilities for Lucio that you can use to just amplify that. It was simply just, being able to move through the map and map awareness. So I agree. I think it's a 5 out of 5 for that Lucio of just perfectly executing the wall rides, getting there with the speed, getting the boop, even getting the Symmetra, all 4 teammates. It's a 5 out of 5 for that, for sure.
And style.
Style's pretty low. I mean, there wasn't really anything to it other than the custom intro. I would give that 3.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised. Out of 10. I just want to clarify with you. Out of
3
10.
out of 10 because they only had the custom intro. There was no skin, no gold gun, no spray. Him soloing the whole time. I mean, he could have done something really flashy, but he just didn't. And it is a tournament match, so I will give you that. Actually, let me change it. I'll go to 4 because it was a tournament match. He was willing to, style on the enemy team like that. I'll respect it. I'll give you a 4 out of 10.
I'll be a little nicer and do a 6.
All right.
So, but I won't add it up for both of us here because I don't want it to see. So now we go back over to Kel here.
All right.
And this one final look here. I mean, these 2 misses at the beginning.
I mean, he was getting a lot of poke damage on the Roadhog.
That is true.
And gets credit for all the eliminations, all 4. Wins the 1v1 against his own Cole Cassidy, which we didn't see from Bagel, so that's even extra solid. Even with the one dink
impact,
at the end.
I mean, the team is cleared off the point is the thing. They
he buys. The game is going. We can see it's a 3-2, so this is kind of the big moment of can they win this map. I give that a 5 out of 5 for impact because it allowed his team to regroup. He got the wipe, building up his ult, used all of the abilities. Definitely 5 out of 5.
All right, I'll be mean. I do 4. Skill.
He used all of his abilities. Yeah, he missed the 2 shots, but he eliminated a Roadhog, a Pharah, an Ana, and a Cole Cassidy with 1 shot on that Cole Cassidy.
If I gave a 5 over to Big, I have to give a 5 over to here because the skill that was demonstrated, the most I can give is a 5.
He was utilizing his whole kit,
and he was clicking heads. He was actually clicking heads.
So definitely 5 for me as well.
You know what? I'm changing Bagel's score down to a 4.
Ooh.
Like if I'm giving Kel a 5, Bagel, he pressed a button and it worked out great for. But if I'm giving Kel a 5 for the technical of just the clicking heads, I gotta lower back Bagel's score down to 4.
But if we're finishing off on style, Kel's the clear winner in style.
Yeah,
he had the skin, he had the spray. He was able to one-dink his counterpart in essentially a 1v1. Yeah, he might have been low, but he got the one-dink. It was very clean, and it was a great flick, very styling. And with the spray, that's a 7 out of 10 for me.
I gave it a 7 as well, which things, I haven't done all of the math here, but things are already looking.
I
have a final score of 25 for Bagel, 28 for Cal. That means Cal, you are the winner of the first Tryhard Royale. So
the off tank being the most tryhard. Very interesting.
Congrats to Cal. That's 28-25. I don't know if production would add that many scores. They'll just do a 1-0 and say, yeah. All right. Well, congrats, Kel, for getting the best replay. This was an interesting competition. I didn't expect myself to be so mean in some of my ratings, but I respect Bagel for the Lucio play, especially getting second place with a Lucio play. We saw all DPS other than
what was it, 2 Lucios, and Nerdy died in theirs.
I mean, I suppose if there was a great boop and it was followed, like maybe you were able to, I don't know, snipe a Mercy out of the air, like you work out the geometry to where it's not, you know, hit scan, but you still manage to aim it up to where they meet in midair, and you're able to take someone out in midair with the Lucio that way. That would have probably raised the rating, but if it's just a boop, I had to. And
also a boop on well, like that of all maps is like, come on.
Well, I'm talking gardens. I'm talking bagel.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah, that makes sense. But on the side of Nerdy's with her Lucio play, I mean, bagel blew them out of the water for that. I mean, it was a quad. They didn't get eliminated. They had a ton of Lucio skill getting there faster or at the start of the first 10 seconds of that match. I mean, I would love to see more support plays. I'm surprised we didn't see a Baptiste actually.
That is quite interesting, but it's all
or even a
it's all questions that'll have to be reserved for the second annual Try Hard Royale. So congrats to Cal for being the first and now defending champion. We might do this again later. I'm not sure, but the one thing that we do have now is we will be getting back to some serious competition right now. We'll be back with Overwatch in the Mountain West. We'll see what teams want to make a big statement. We'll be back with a true matchup right after this.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. Well, after that fun kind of review of the highlight clips, we are now ready to bring you some real Mountain West Overwatch action. We are going to bring you Colorado State versus Fresno State right now. The Rams versus the Bulldogs, two teams that haven't really been considered the top two teams, but there's been a lot of roster changes. They want to make a name for themselves, so this will kind of be a nice setup for the night. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Brenner Bearlad. Bear, I understand we've got a lot of action to get to, so just kind of really quick, what are you mainly looking out for? What do you want to see most tonight?
I mean, I want to see Colorado State succeed. They're the opponent we've played against the most as Boise State, so I definitely want to see them succeed going up against Fresno State, which is a team we have not highlighted all that often. So I'm curious what both these teams can bring to the plate and how much Colorado has improved with how often we have faced them.
Well, to see if they can improve, there's one other thing they can keep in mind. Those are Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch, and that is going to be to never take a fair fight. And that means to take fights in unexpected places when your opponents are unprepared and when you can have ability advantages. Doc's keys to the game brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. You can play to win prizes through free and paid entry matches at dropingaming.com. Ready to head into the first match of the night, the Rams versus the Bulldogs. And let's see what we're starting out on. Legion to start out with. Pretty common map to start things out.
Yeah, this is the exact map. We saw Bagel get that quad on of Legion, so...
that was Gardens, actually. Sorry to...
This is still
Sorry to
Legion.
jump in.
It's close enough.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll give you...
But heading over to this map, I definitely expecting to see maybe a Sim Brawl right out the gate, but definitely probably a Junkrat, maybe a Cole Cassidy, or a Doomfist if they want to definitely get in the face of the enemy team. We can see from silhouettes already and the teleporter that they're going to go for that Sim Brawl shot on both sides. So we kick things off, but one team went for very speedy, the other one went for just absolute brawl.
And I like for the attempts at the flank that I'm seeing Tree take on here, as Supa is going to pick up one, putting Blue into a small advantage right now. Looks like they're going to be able to take this first fight, as the rest here, as we see, are taking a whole bunch of damage. Silver with that turret, though, is going to be able to pick off Dio. But overall, it looks like a take beginning for Blue here.
Yeah, very well played attack, but especially going into a Sim Brawl and both Junkrats on each side, they just did the Sim teleport to get their team that much quicker, and it looks like the Blue will be Fresno State as well. So already Colorado's trying to go right into the mines.
Is going to mean, I actually think Colorado State is the blue and Fresno is the red. So at this point, Fresno State kind of struggling. It looks like they're actually going to be getting onto the point using that Amp Matrix to push through here, although none of the Rams have actually been eliminated thus far. Actually going to see Slagathor is going to find themselves trapped in that mine, going to fill themselves back up on health. Dio uses Transcendence to get the Rams back onto the point. Supa's going to take Robin out of their mech, but Justice is keeping the pressure on Fresno State. Look out for the Rogue Riptire, only takes out the Immortality Field. Slagathor answering back, trading back and forth for elimination here, but overall Fresno State with some key positioning actually manages to take the point away from the Rams.
Yeah, I'm surprised how long this fight's continued to go on as the Rams take it back. I mean, the Bulldogs used almost every single ult they had as soon as they got it in that fight, except for Sundown, who still has that Shatter, so I'm expecting them to play around it for this next upcoming fight. But the Rams have both the Rally and the Gratific Flux to counter it.
Silver getting a crucial first pick onto Slagathor there. Gravitic Flux is going to be brought out by the Rams, as will the Rally. KCV trying to make some space with that Riptire, trying to flank them, but it's going to get caught out there. And Dio's going to take out Silver. There goes the self-destruct out from Robin. Is instead going to get eliminated while they're out of their mech. Finish also picking up the pieces, taking out KCV. And looks like another Colorado State hold here.
Yeah, I mean, good on the Bulldogs for using pretty much every ult they can as soon as they're getting it to try to win the fight, but the Rams have just been able to get better utility out of their ults, and especially with how high speed their comp is, they're just able to run down the Bulldogs as they're retreating back to spawn, able to secure this point very quickly.
Fresno State is going to try to make a last-minute charge here. Can the Wrecking Ball get onto the point? They can. Actually, they don't even have a Wrecking Ball. They're just going to lose the Lucio Speed Boost, to get onto the point. But Lucio's going to pay for it by taking them out. The Deadeye is going to pick up Dio as Super brings out the Riptire. That's probably the most consequential Riptire we've seen of the day, taking out both of their tanks. As Robin is eliminated outside of their mech. Psychothor also eliminating Justice. That's going to be a hold for the Rams, and they get the first point.
Yeah, a very dominating victory on this first map. And the whole time, Sundown still has the Shatter. He never used it. That definitely could have turned the tide in their favor. I mean, look at him. He's in a 1v3. If he had Shattered, he would have hit at least 2 of them, which would have just bought his team that much more time. So Sundown's definitely going to be getting a talking to from his team of, you had Shatter all game and never used it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see not wanting to use a Shatter in that circumstance since the fight is kind of already lost. You don't have 3 members left, but definitely throughout the whole game, yeah, just holding on to 1 ultimate throughout the whole thing, definitely a big no-no.
Yeah, so hopefully coming into the market, we will see that, but I expect another Symmetra play up into that window, get on point first, able to set up your turrets, and set up that car wash, but only Colorado State's gonna go for the sim play.
Yeah, that's interesting. We see almost every team use the sim play.
Yeah, but now they're going up against a pharmacy, so that's something that they're definitely gonna need to deal with because they don't have the best hit scans to deal with the anti-air.
But they can take shelter on the point too. They've got a lot of natural cover in terms of the environment, so they're going to be able to take the first point here unless Fresno State can really challenge them. That's a key pick, though, onto Slagathor. And yeah, Tracer isn't going to be able to take a Foreign Mercy, so instead it looks like what you were saying, Brenner, indeed is the case here, especially with Sundown and elimination off the edge too onto Supa. Colorado State does look like they are going to take that in mind as they're looking at some swaps.
Yeah, I love how, as you mentioned, those swaps coming in, both hit scans immediately of the 76 and the Cole Cassidy to take down KCV, and you can see them dropping very low as Tree's just going right in on that Wrecking Ball, playing it phenomenally, but now Sundown's off that main tank roll over to your favorite Roadhog. And misses the hook.
Yeah, not quite my favorite if the hook just goes right into the wall. Look at that minefield there from Tree. Is just going to clear everything out for Fresno State. The whole point is available. Didn't even have to use that many mines to do it.
Yeah, even staggering out Bishop on the Mercy for that team kill. The Rams came back swinging and only allowing Fresno State to get 34%. Slagathor even setting up in the back lane is just going to be uncontested for so long because you know KCV is looking for those squishies.
Looks like the Deadeye is just going to be kind of negated immediately. Super facing Silver Sliver, facing a bit of resistance from that as KCV gets a good pick onto Supa. So already one of the hit scans gone for the Rams. Riddick Flux is going to be used here by Beef. We also hear the barrage used on that flank, but Slagathor is able to take out Robin and Sliver. But KCV is still doing work here on this flank, and I don't see that much contest from the other team here. They're just picking them off 1-to-1, still contesting the point right now. Is able to take out Supa. Beef, though, without that Mercy pocket, KCV finally falls.
Yeah, Beef with the double taking out the pharmacy, proving that even a tank could be the hit scan that they need. But look at the ults right now. Those Sundown getting close to holding that ult for the rest of the game. But with the Rams having 3 to Fresno's now 3, I expect Colorado to possibly win this fight because Deadeye is close behind to get that 4th, and both tanks can charge them very quickly.
One thing I am a bit concerned about, though, is just the ability for that whole hog. If Colorado State does not position themselves well, they can get knocked off of the edge here. As Sliver brings out their Deadeye to push some pressure onto Slagathor, but it really isn't going to work. Supa's going to say, hey, this is how you do a Deadeye, and take out Sundown in the process. Also, both support ultimates used by Fresno State. Looks like just about everything's being used. Minefields, amp matrices, Valkyries, sound barriers, you name it. And it's going to lead to 2 picks for Fresno State, taking out Finish, and Supa is going to go into overtime as Colorado State still tries to hold on. A great play from Beef and Tree, as well as the pure damage pushed out by that Visor is going to help them to get 1 pick after the other and still maintain control. And the whole hog is brought out, gets a double, though. I got to say, that's impressive here. But he's still facing 3-to-1, and they're going to solo ult him to take him out. Okay, if it works, it works. I gotta say, great job to the Rams.
Hey, at least Sundown ulted that time, so Bulldogs got something accomplished there, but a dominating performance by the Rams, and I'm very happy that both Cold Cassidy's were constantly using their dead eyes. Like, as soon as they got it, they used it.
Well, a proud sponsor of Boise State Esports is the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. That's going to do it for the first stage there, Control. Now we move on to Hybrid, and we're just kind of going to be ready to just jump into the second game. It's just going to be kind of one of those types of matches, just getting into the action as soon as we can. But it definitely seemed like a main point we were talking about was ult usage, kind of Fresno State kind of being hit or miss in how they used them.
Yeah, we saw how much value the Rams were constantly getting out of their ultimate, hence making sure that even if they were using that Deadeye, that they were at least picking off one, or if Slagathor used the sights, he was focusing down that anti-air. Same with Beef actually being a really good Sigma, constantly taking down that Pharmacy Wombo combo, and filling that main tank role with the help of that Wrecking Ball, causing so much chaos in the backline. The Bulldogs definitely had a ton of split target priority there, and were even staggering towards the end, definitely playing around that Pharmacy as kind of the basis of their team, with KCV being their star player. And Silver on the Cold Cassidy, every second he had that Deadeye, he was popping it. He probably had at least 3, maybe even 4 Deadeyes in the entire matchup of Lijiang Tower. So if Sundown can take a note from him and say, use ults as quickly as you get them to get that value, zone them out, and get the engage on the point, I think that could definitely lead to a win for the Bulldogs.
No real surprises here on the stage being brought out. Kings Row is the standard Hybrid pick. So let's see how it works. Colorado State looks like they're going to be the first ones defending here. Bringing out a Far Mercy, if I am not mistaken. No. I am mistaken indeed. I thought I saw a Far Mercy there, but nope, it's actually going to be the Torb being brought out here, as well as Supa sticking on that Cassidy. We'll see how it works. Right now, Colorado State maintaining a good presence on the point as Fresno State tries to maneuver around the statue here, and Sliver's going to get a very nice pick onto the Torb, and that allows them, with the help of the Maywall, gives them cover to push back onto the point.
Yeah, very clean engage. Got the first pick on the Torb and his turret, very immediately just removing all presence he had and just continue to roll forward. Great Maywall.
That looks, it's probably going to do it there. Fresno State being able to take control as Colorado State has to respawn. Way too far away from the point to make any real contest, but now they're going to have a chance here as Fresno State meets them very fast.
Yeah, you want to push right into that Ryan. Torb definitely still way too far up, and the Blizzard only caught one.
Yeah, that's interesting, but Fresno State certainly has the pedal to the metal here. You do not want to stop for anything, and these walls have been insane.
On the cart, somebody on the cart. There you go. But the Rams coming back, got a 2-pick. They can definitely run just right into Fresno. They're doing exactly that. And not committing an ult. Well, clean flame strike.
Alrighty.
Well, now they're going to have to push through this archway against the Rams, and the Rams have 3 ults to the Bulldogs 1. They would have had 2 if they held onto the Blizzard. That Blizzard should have never been used.
Yeah, and Fresno State really isn't going to have anything here except the Amp Matrix. Maybe a sound barrier if they play it right, but right now they got a lot to go up against.
Yeah, they're making sure to always get that Torb turret early on, so that might just be bad placement on the side of the Rams, but a great grab.
Oh, and they turn around for the flank, and he hits them right in the back as soon as they do it. That is a flashy team kill.
I mean, 3 ults to get a team kill just buys you that much more time, but now the Bulldogs are sitting very pretty with almost 5 ults online for them. Colorado doesn't really have anything to answer other than a Shatter, maybe the sound barrier if they can charge it quick enough, but I mean, the Torb with the Mullen Core getting a quad and the Cold Cassidy getting double with the Deadeye is great value. So hopefully we can see the Rams hold them back.
Ooh, that's a really nice shatter into Fresno State. It's going to tear away any sort of health they have from that sound barrier. Matrix is thrown down for Justice, but isn't going to buy enough time for him. Colorado State uses their own sound barrier here. And with a boop, KCV is eliminated, as well as Tree eliminating Robin. Colorado State seems pretty unstoppable, despite the lack of ultimates they had.
Even the Torb
with the hammer. Okay, that's the
May.
style we were looking for in those replays.
I mean, you definitely could have taken that triple. Even the pick onto the Cold Cassie coming out of spawn. Sundown, you need to put up your shield to protect your team. Come on now. This is Mountain West. This is something we expect to see from day one. And now having quad ults going up against 2, the Bulldogs press Q and they should be able to push right through it, but they're going for the high ground play when they have a little bit of poke, but their 2 tanks are going to be worthless. They're going for the master flank? I mean, that's a good early pick on Dasupa, but...
It's a good way to burn off a lot of your time.
Yeah, I mean, when they started pushing this, they had over 4 minutes. Yes, play around the Deadeye and get nothing. Okay. The Blizzard.
Yeah, but I don't see too much in a missed charge there.
Seems like a lot of shenanigans going on right now.
Yeah, it's this giving me a lot of solo queue vibes right now.
Wombo combo number 2. Oh.
Well, Colorado State very good at using that Molten Core there. Is going to just tear right through Fresno State, who's already lost more than half their time.
Sundown, press Q. Please. It seems the Bulldogs don't really have an attack strategy. They tried to win to the high ground and then just ran around in a circle for a bit and then went back down and were just getting picked off. They tried to play around the Deadeye, but you had nothing to set it up. You just
look at this, they're going for the same route.
What's the plan here? You have a Diva, but no anti-air. You're not getting in their face. You have no like Blizzard to eat up because it's on your team. You're not eating up the Molten Core because you're getting picked so early on because you're the target that would eat it up. Shatter.
Yes, but it's used by Beef instead of Sundown. Bacon is going to use the sound barrier in response to that, try to keep Fresno State alive. Right now, it's 2 picks, though, for the Bulldogs. That should be enough for them to push forward.
Yeah, taking out the turret just gives them that much more momentum, but they also need to keep on that cart because they need to make up a lot of lost ground. They started off this cart with like 4.5 minutes. They have 50 seconds now.
Especially that Flame Strike not going to do anything. It just went on to Beef with their Tree with their shield, and I'm sure Tree was like, thank you very much.
Red has been pushed up way too far forward on this Torb and getting eliminated way too much.
There goes the sound barrier from Colorado State. Sliver is going to be using that Blizzard, but it is actually going to help Robin and Justice to take out Dio and Tree as long as Beef being eliminated. With not a lot of time, Fresno State still manages to get to the checkpoint. It looks like we're heading into the final third here.
I would hope to see this Torb swapped off, even with how well you've been wombo comboing the Molten Core and the Grav from Tree. It only bought you so much time, and they still got the checkpoint. They were able to bring it back. Sundown still will never ult on this Reinhardt, but the rest of his team will and continue to carry him forward.
Well, that's a great Maywall there to kind of peel off Colorado State, their tanks. Sundown is still holding the Shatter right now. As it uses it there, but it doesn't do. Oh, that's unfortunate right there. But at least it was used, and there goes the Wombo combo we've been seeing, but Fresno State has been able to survive through it this time as Colorado State brings out their Deadeye. Isn't going to pick up anybody. KCV is going to try his own luck and is able to take out Finish. So Bulldogs are heading now to this final point with a lot of momentum. That's kind of a tap there onto Dio. But the sound barrier is used for Fresno State to help them get the last bit of security as they take the final point here. Tree is all charged up on the Zarya, but how long can they hold out? Not too long, but long enough for the rest of the Rams to get back to the point and attempted a spin to win, but it's not going to work out.
I mean, look how much time that was burned off the clock. I mean, there's only 44 seconds remaining for the Bulldogs, so that will be kicked back up. But I expect the Rams, if they just get 1 or 2 clean team fights while pushing the cart, they'll just push it all the way through because look how well they were able to just execute these ults. And Sundown, you know that his team is yelling at him for that play of just as soon as he looked away, the Deadeye goes off and gets a double.
Yeah, it was a hard spot, though, because Colorado State, you could see that they already had 2 other members, so it was really kind of a no-win situation no matter where you looked. You had an ultimate, you know, you were going to get flanked there, so.
I'm still surprised Fresno was able to get all 3 points and how quickly they were able to. Once they got the ball rolling, the Rams really weren't able to stop them, even at that last checkpoint spot when they had spawn advantage.
It seemed like they would have probably had more time, but they chose to kind of take a few bizarre routes there after they took the initial point.
Yeah, and also committing to the Torb the entire time. Usually after you lose that first cart point, you swap off the Torb because you're indoors. You can utilize someone like an Ashe or even a Reaper for that close combat, because Fresno was always target prioritizing the Torb turret to just get it out of the equation, because the Torb himself wasn't dealing that much damage, especially up close. So hopefully the Rams will be a little bit more adjusting for their attack.
I have to see how it turns out, as Colorado State is taking the route through the theater, it looks like, for themselves, as Red here is trying to get some sort of pick with this Widow, but is waiting an awfully long time
Like,
for
not
it.
even poking? Like, you had so many shot opportunities.
This is just kind of a bizarre King's Row all around, it looks like.
It's definitely a bizarre matchup between these 2 teams, and they're taking the high ground again. What? Are you just going to drop right on top of them? They have a man, you have a Widow. Your Widow hasn't done anything.
Just throw up the wall. Oh, you hate to see it.
I have so many questions and so little answers, but I mean, they're on the point and being uncontested. They're just getting free percentage.
Well, there's the pick that Red was looking for.
Gets
and
2.
It's too late, though?
3?
Well, I guess he was just saving them all up. Okay, it's now going to be at a much more consequential time. Be able to at least help the Rams get 1 ticket, looks like. They're focusing right now on this Lucio. He's still staying alive. Enough time for this Diva to give some backup, but there goes another pick from Red. I guess when it counts, the Widowmaker clutches.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry for talking bad about you. You pulled it right back and made the Bulldogs immediately turn around and try to face you, but even going over to the Hanzo, that was a clean arrow. Watched it hit his face. I mean, at least he has wall hacks now.
Yeah, he is going to have that. It's not the best ultimate in the game, but it's still
They're also going up against the Amplification Matrix of Justice, so I definitely expect the Bulldogs to start getting aggressive as this card's pushing through the archway, because this is where you want to see team take this fight.
Good finish here, just trying to heal back up the Rams as they are pushed back through the archway. That pick onto Supa is going to put a dent in their push, and this is exactly where Fresno State needs to hold the Rams here, because they had a hard amount of time pushing through this choke, as well as we're going to see the Shatter be brought out, as well as just basically everything from the Rams, including self-destruct. They're just going to press every single Q and hope it works out. Hey, it does, but KCB using this Deadeye, they got to be a little cognizant of that, and Sundown taking out Dio. Despite all the ultimates the Rams use, the Fresno Bulldogs are managing to turn it around, it looks like.
Yes, card's still getting a lot of progress as they're just being able to pick off a lot of people, both tanks and the dragons, to finish off those tanks and the silence. A bit too far off to the right, but it's all right. You got the elimination he needed, and Tracer in the backline against a Cole Cassidy. This is definitely a ballsy play from Red there. So as we wait to see how this next team fight goes, the ult economy is favoring the Bulldogs, having both the sound barrier and the shatter if Sundown decides to use it. But Beef was able to get a 3-man shatter and lead to a ton of eliminations. I'm surprised that the Rams weren't able to capitalize on it because so many members were just trading out.
Sundown does have that shatter online now. Finish uses their amp matrix. We also hear Deadeye being brought out by Supa here. It is only going to take out the Immortality field, but Colorado State manages to round the corner and get some more payload push, so they still have that going for them. And right now, Tree looks like they are very charged up on this Zarya here. There goes the own High Noon, brought out by KCB, is going to take out Red, and there goes a shatter out there from Sun, but gets stunned in response to that. And that's a huge shatter from the Rams, just tearing right into the Bulldogs. And Bacon, to keep his team alive in response, uses that sound barrier. KCB with a a double in the face of the Shatter, managing to recover beautifully for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that grab was definitely not needed, only landing onto one member and still couldn't eliminate the one member. So the Rams getting very liberal with their ultimates, just throwing them as soon as they're getting them, if they're not even getting value with them. At least when KCV is always throwing out those Deadeyes, he's zoning you out, getting a pick or two even, constantly onto Red, who was that Tracer, now swapping over to the Ashe. Maybe Bob will make the difference.
That's a huge Dragon Strike there by Sliver, comboed with the self-destruct, and the Rams just all of a sudden can't win a fight to save their lives right now. They are getting stopped time and time again by the Bulldogs as Sundown finishes it off with a Flame Strike. Bacon also picking up a crucial stagger against Supa.
Kings Row seems to be the Bulldogs map. They got all 3 points, and now they're holding the Rams.
Like a true English Bulldog.
There you go. They're living up to their name. I mean, we have both amplification matrix is up, and Fresno's is going to use theirs first. So.
Showing that stubborn, stiff upper lip in defense right now, just holding the
both
Rams
are separated, running right on top of them.
Look at that!
That's exactly what you need to do. And no one on the Ram side even tried to protect their tanks. Well, Colorado, what's happening? No!
Colorado Tree's going to swap over here to this Wrecking Ball. And right now, the Rams, everything just seems to be falling apart for them. They're going to have one, maybe two chances left to try to take this. So right now, we see Red trying to get some chip damage here with this Ashe. Bacon is going to go down to half health, but manages to survive as Finish brings out their amp matrix. There goes a dynamite thrown out as well, but the Immortality Field is keeping Fresno State alive. It gets taken out, and now Sundown eliminated by that Flame Strike. KCV with the Deadeye, though. Can he pick up one? It looks like he's just going to be burned out for time on that one. Justice getting to pick on the tree. Huge! That is a huge shatter, and the follow-up just tears right through the Bulldogs. The Rams have their footing back, and they're charging toward this checkpoint.
Yeah, showing who the better Ryan is after that 5-man shatter. Absolute beautiful play from Beef, and Sundown's still holding on to his, so maybe he'll try to get a 6-man. It's possible. You just have to be able to catch them off guard and way too close together.
So now it's looking like 2, maybe 3 fights that Fresno has to hold here.
Yeah, they have. I mean, it's 2 to 4 ults right now, so the Rams aren't looking too good, but if they get this early pick onto one of the tanks or even the Baptiste, they can win this fight.
Whoa, that Dragon Strike splitting Colorado State up. Their Immortality Field is going to be eliminated. Out goes Bob, your favorite, but is he going to do anything? Right now, Red is able to get one pick onto Bacon, regardless of the Bob. There goes Robin taken out of there. Mech Tree's going to be eliminated by Justice, but it's the only elimination that the Bulldogs have for themselves. Colorado State looks like they are just charging right toward this final point.
If you're going to eliminate one person, don't be the Wrecking Ball. I mean, he's the one person who can get back faster than anybody else, except for maybe a Lucio at best. But the beat immediately out the gate. Definitely a big risk as you get booped off the edge.
That's a good environmental. Bacon just a little too eager to get back onto that point. Out goes the shatter from Fresno. They are fighting right on the point right there. That's a huge double from Red there. And Supa also getting rid of the Torp turret, just trying to get them a little bit more presence, but there's still a lot. That's another big shatter from Beef at the most important time. And it's going to follow that up with a double. That is enough for the Rams to push this to overtime.
Beef, your poor back has to hurt so bad. 5-man shatter, 3-man shatter, double elimination with the charge, and even gets the Diva for the win. But look how much time was burned off by the Bulldogs. I mean, at the tail end of that, they were under 30 seconds for the Rams, so they held them much harder than when they were on attack. So as we swap sides to deal with this draw so far, I think the Rams are looking in an interesting spot because these teams are constantly back and forth of they're doing very poorly and get one good fight and they just get the ball rolling and can't be stopped. And it seems to be the case for both these teams. If Sundown uses those shatters to great effect more often, I expect the Bulldogs to possibly take this. He just needs to be a little bit more vicarious with those shatters and he could lead his team to his victory.
Right now, Colorado State is going to be the first ones to attack here. They are going to set the pace. And right now, both these teams haven't been too successful on the first point.
Yeah, and we're already seeing the Hanzo from the Bulldogs, so maybe they're expecting another cheeky Widow coming out from Red, who did absolutely phenomenally. And we do actually see the Widow through the highlights on the far side this time. She was up top, but also bringing out the Sigma rather than the Wrecking Ball to try to win this early point so much quicker. This Hanzo in the backline has been unscouted so far. The Bulldogs are going for some cheeky plays, but they're down a member, so they're just going to get run over.
Suva taking out that Immortality field. Sliver also taking a lot of damage, is going to be eliminated by Red, but Robin making a fight on the point by taking out Tree, and maybe with one of Colorado State's tanks gone, that just allows Fresno State to burn off enough time, which is what the game is right now. Maywall goes up to kind of protect Beef as Robin gets another pick onto Red, taking out the threat of that Widow that was so good for Colorado State last time. And right now, this looks like a very nice Bulldogs hold right now, taking Colorado State down to just 0 time left.
Yeah, 10 seconds means it's time to just start running into them, and with an amplification matrix, that might be it, especially if you're losing your Mei, who's the one who's supposed to stall it all out. Sundown gets a shatter!
Oh, but look at the shatter in response. Look at the play from Beef, managing to get onto the point all by himself, but they are eliminated as Fresno State makes their presence known again. And that is going to do it. Not one tick for the Rams.
I mean, it was a great defense by the Bulldogs, especially knowing how they were going to play around that Widow, immediately saying, all right, Hanzo Diva, your job is kill Widow and nothing else. Go have fun. And they did exactly that. And she was just not able to get any value that second time round, which makes you think she should have swapped off the first time she died, or even just not go for it the second time, because that's exactly what they were expecting. I mean, you popped off so well that first time round. Trying to do it again was a big risk, and it didn't pay off. So now on the defense, you have to defend a whole extra 27 seconds against the Bulldogs. So the Rams are definitely going to feel the pressure, especially not being able to get a single tick. It's going to be a hard defense. They're going to have to hold pretty close, or it's just going to be an all-out brawl. And with how well the Diva's been playing for the Bulldogs, I don't know if the Sigma will be able to match that, because these Ryans have been able to match each other so far.
We are ready to see how it all turns out right now. Bulldogs just kind of have one more push, and they are going to tie up this series 1-1. Very exciting turn of events and a rally from Fresno State. Now with just 5 seconds left, here we go. How is this going to turn out? Will the Bulldogs be managed to just charge onto the point? All they need is one tick.
Sticking with that Mei Cole Cassidy combo. Oh, it's going to be a mirror match other than the off tanks. So you know that's what I'm going to talk about, is the difference between these two tanks. Misses the Mei wall first. So things are looking good for the Rams. Able to get the wall, but can they get the elimination from it? I don't think so, and they're already on point. It's a brawl.
I mean, any charge that they can get at this point. I mean, look at that. Just by pushing the Rams off the point, they're already halfway to that tick. They can just stay alive right now, but Red is going to take out Sun. But the fight back from Justice and KCV making a hero's play with the double. That could lock it up for the Bulldogs. Indeed it does. Fresno State takes the win.
A hard-fought victory from the Bulldogs, but I mean, KCV being the better Cole Cassidy, Robin on that baby Diva taking down the Sig as he was just stuck in the animation of absorbing her with the melee as well. I mean, it definitely came down to that better individual skill, because the teams were practically even up until that point. So
yep.
Fresno takes it. This is going to be a close matchup.
Should be a very close matchup. I think the moral of the story is on defense, there is nothing like a good old stubborn English Bulldog right there, even though they're from Fresno. We're just going to put a pin in that match for right now. We're going to take a short break and be back with more Overwatch action for you, so you are not going to want to miss it. We'll be back after this.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You are currently watching our matchup of Colorado State versus Fresno State, the Rams versus the Bulldogs, and Mountain West Overwatch. And right now, we have seen both these teams put up a very fierce fight as we last left them on the break tide at 1 apiece. And right now, we're going to jump to the final map of this matchup to see who takes home the gold. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Brenner Bear Ladd. And right now, Bears, we're ready to head into Hanamura right now as we're jumping forward a little bit. Both these teams showed a lot of promise and both of them finding a way to win one match. What do you think are the main strengths of both each team?
I mean, on the side of the Bulldogs, it has definitely got to be KCV on that DPS role, whether they were on the Pharmacy or the Colt Cassidy. They were able to capitalize on it so many times of how well they were able to carry their team forward, get the eliminations, and win a lot of those 1v1 situations. Whereas if we look on the side of the Rams, I definitely have to give it to their two tank players of Tree and Beef. They've both been just key members of that team, whereas Tree on the Wrecking Ball causing so much chaos and not getting eliminated, getting away with so many of those cheeky plays. And then Beef on that Reinhardt. We saw so many amazing shatters and great charges, winning out, being kind of that DPS tank that you don't see all too often. Really paid off for them.
Well, we don't want to waste any more time. I think we're going to head into Hanamura as soon as we can to decide who will win this match, the Rams versus the Bulldogs. Right now, let's get right to it. We saw Colorado State get the first win here on Legion Tower, then Fresno State evened it up on Kings Row. We're going to the final map in this matchup and see who wins here. So right now, as we get a chance to look, Colorado State, if they're sticking to the blue, it looks like they're going to be on defense first.
I mean, the Mercy is what you need, especially on Hanamura, because that long walk back from spawn can be very dangerous. And we could even see the Torb, so it seems like they want to go for a more traditional Hanamura defense.
Well, here we go. We're going to get probably one last look here before it looks like Colorado State might actually want to take kind of an aggressive peek out here to get some more information on Fresno.
Yeah, went for the wrong rotation, and Tree's going to get first elimination onto Silver on that Symmetra. That's going to stop a Fresno State push in its tracks. And now Colorado State knows what to expect. So if Fresno's not able to pull off this sim, they're going to need to swap off of it pretty quick because they're just going to be waiting for that teleporter again and again.
Here we go. We're going to see if Fresno State, I got to say, they're going to have to be watching out for all of the damage that's pushed through by Supa, and they're going to try to just go right past that with this teleport.
Yeah, make sure you take out that turret first and burn down that shield. That's the perk of the Sim Beam, burning down both shields also from that Sigma. But running right on top of them when they have an Ashen Torp is what you want to do as the Bulldogs, taking down the Immortality field. by KCV. And Beef taking down Justices. I mean, both these teams are just waiting for the first one to go, and Supa with the Dynamite's going to take down Bacon Strip first. That's secondary heals, but now they have the Amplification Matrix, so Red is going to take down Silver, but Justice gets the refrag for his teammate onto that Torb, and the Shatter comes out from Sundown. Steel gets the res, will not land onto anyone as Finish takes down Sundown, and Tree takes down KCV. This seems to be Colorado State's fight.
I was a bit worried for them because they managed to get onto the point, but they didn't manage to take out kind of the crucial main damage makers, which was Supa on this Mercy Pocket. And Colorado State, even though they lost that, they're going to have a whole bunch of ult charge gained from that long, drawn-out fight, as they already have 3 members over 95% on the ult charge. They're going to have a ton to hold this next fight.
And still sticking to the Symmetric can be very dangerous because they're playing around that teleporter. And you know the Rams are just waiting to see where they place it. Once again, going for the high ground, and an amazing Dynamite is going to land onto almost every single member. Already losing Sundown to the Torp to make that 2 as Silver falls as well. And here comes the Molten Core with Diva not in the mech. That means it's going to be free reign, and already this is the Rams fight.
You can't really do better than that in terms of wanting to hold them for an engagement by using as little as possible. Only one ultimate and just letting the Torp turret get a double for you. I mean, Colorado State did really good managing the resources they had, and now it looks like they're going to face this next fight basically kind of in the same position ult-wise. They used one, but that Amp Matrix is coming back online for them. It's going to be 5-4 for these ults this fight.
Yeah, and still committing to the Symmetra is definitely not what you want to see if you're a Bulldogs fan, because it has constantly just led them to death. I mean, every time they teleport, it's been Dynamite right on top of them. This time they've been lucky enough as they're teleporting around the corner, but Colorado State has the high ground, and with the Amplification Matrix so far back, and Bob coming in, the Torp turret gets first, but now Bob gets second. Red gets the third. Both DPS are gone. Both supports are gone. Only 2 tanks remaining, and that's a team kill for Colorado State. They're just missing it by like 2 seconds for the respawn time.
A team kill, yes, but I am a bit concerned. It seems like Colorado State just kind of got into a win more mentality there. The fight was already won by those first 2 ultimates, but then you saw the Sigma and Beef also. Both of them kind of just used both of their tank ults there with the Gravitic Flux and Shatter. So now there really isn't going to be anything except for this Molten Core, and if Fresno State can dodge that, they might be able to get this final tick they're looking for.
If Fresno State's going for the same push, it might not end well for them. They do have the Deadeye to zone them out from behind the bell, but do not get an elimination from it. Even committing the Diva Bomb doesn't get an elimination from it, other than Sundown taking out the turret.
Oh no!
The Reds come with the double Molten Core onto both the Lucio and the Cole Cassidy. They try to put down the wall, but it will not save anybody else, as Juice gets 1 elimination as the sole survivor of that massacre, and the Rams a clean multiple fights here.
Well, I suppose that this Torb is just finding a way to make things work. I don't know where he's placing that turret, but it's sure working out really well.
Yeah, we've never seen Fresno really try to turn and deal with it a lot of the times. They always just teleport either right above the point or off to the side to drop down on the opposite end, and that just gives the Rams the high
it was
ground.
kind of funny. The first pick Fresno State did get in their final push was onto that Torb turret, so I guess they finally said, okay, we got to take this thing out.
Yeah, I mean, Torb wasn't causing a problem on Kings Row until towards the end of it when they were Wombo comboing with that Zarya, so they're like, oh, they don't have Zarya, he's not a problem. Guys, he's a problem.
Well, now it's just a hop, skip, and a jump, and Colorado State will have the win here. That's a pretty good deal for Ramen there. I mean, working out the exchange rate from yen to dollars, it's, you know, only about $7-8 for a bowl there. Not bad for lunch.
For sure, I wish could do that here more often, but
yeah.
As we're getting ready for the defense of the Bulldogs, they're bringing out their own Torb. It's Battle of the Torbs now.
Yeah, and I have to wonder if Colorado State just, after all those failed Symmetra teleports, if they just don't go for one of them themselves and just win it on the first try. It actually seems like Fresno State is going for a lot of what Colorado State went. They're going for that Ashe with the Mercy Pocket as well.
Seems only difference is that Orisa. As this fight kicks off, Colorado State's going for the second right onto point. This
How'd he get there?
They just dove right past him, and now they're immediately having to attack the point they're defending, and a great wrecking ball onto the roof, taking down Bacon Strip on the Mercy. No res means this fight might be yours, and losing the main DPS. Finally, the first elimination for Fresno State will be onto red, but it seems that's already it, as both tanks and main heals will fall. Robin's able to take down Beef with him, but in one fight, the Rams take it.
It's just with the teleport right onto the point. There was no sneakiness, no flank route. Let's just go right onto the point, and it worked.
Yeah, they teleported right past both tanks, and there was no reaction. It was just, oh, they're there now. Let's turn around, and just constantly got picked apart.
Well, congrats to the Rams for winning that one. Kind of in cheeky fashion, too, just saying, here's how you do the Symmetra teleport, and hey, works out for them. So congrats to the Rams on that one.
Yeah, well-deserved victory for the Rams. They had a rough time on Kings Row, but brought it back. They absolutely excelled on Lijiang Tower, and on Hanamura, they just said, anything you can do, I can do better. So huge props to the Rams for that matchup.
Well, we're just about ready to head into Boise State's matchup of the night, but before we do that, do you have any star players that stood out to you?
One of the tank players of Colorado State, Tree or Beef, they both did absolutely phenomenally. I mean, they both had their own moments respectively. If I had to choose one or the other, I want to give it to Tree for the Wrecking Ball plays. He was the main tank for a lot of the time. He did very well on Lijiang Tower and continued to do so on Hanamura. Beef, love you as well, but this time I'm going to give it to Tree.
Of course, if we want to pick someone from the Bulldogs, KCV was a big threat there, using a lot of good Cassidy plays as well. Just, maybe not getting a lot of Deadeye eliminations, but still just kind of the good old-fashioned click heads, got a good amount of doubles and triples. So that could do it for the Bulldogs as well, but we will just have to see who, if anyone, was chosen for the player of the game. And we are just going to be ready to head into that one. Once again, that player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, and it is going to be Zeke, actually.
All of these choices? No.
There
he goes.
I think that...
I mean, we were showing Silver, but I don't think
it looked like Sliver. I gotta say that I remember that username. It's tripped me up before too. I just instinctively say Silver.
As we saw in that replay, they were the May on the Kings Row. I don't know if it was them directly, but they were just trying to find the right play to highlight the right person. So we don't know, but we have our own picks. I mean, you mentioned KCV. They were the carry of that team. True. Pharmacy, the Cole Cassidy, they just were absolutely popping off. I also want to highlight Justice on the Baptiste for their main heals. He was one of the few people constantly getting eliminations before getting eliminated, so at least he was trading out as a main healer, and he wasn't also getting eliminated first every team fight, which is the sign of a good main heals, is being able to have that survivability to not get eliminated first, because you're almost 9 out of 10 times the biggest target.
Well, I think that'll probably do it for this matchup. We'll leave you with the top 5 plays of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. We'll be back with Boise State in the Mountain West, but for now, enjoy your top 5 plays of the game.
There you go. But the Rams coming back, got a 2-pick. They can definitely run just right into Fresno. They're doing exactly that. And not committing an ult. Well, clean flame strike. Nothing. Okay. The Blizzard.
Yeah, but I don't see too much, and a missed charge there.
Seems like a lot of shenanigans going on right now.
Yeah, it's this giving me a lot of solo queue vibes right now.
Wombo combo number 2. Oh, they're teleporting around the corner, but Colorado State has the high ground, and with the amplification matrix so far back, and Bob coming in, the Torb turret gets first blood. Now Bob gets second. Red gets the third. Both DPS are gone. Both supports are gone. Only 2 tanks remaining, and that's a team kill for Colorado State.
Now, Sundown eliminated by that Flame Strike. KCV with the Deadeye, though. Can he pick up one? It looks like he's just going to be burned out for time on that one. Justice getting to pick on the tree. Huge! That is a huge shatter, and the follow-up just tears right through the Bulldogs. The Rams have their footing back, and they're charging toward this checkpoint. Be a sound barrier if they play it right, but right now they got a lot to go up against.
Yeah, they're making sure to always get that Torp turret early on, so that might just be bad placement on the side of the Rams, but a great grab.
Oh, and they turn around for the flank, and he hits them right in the back as soon as they do it. That Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight we are covering Mountain West Collegiate Overwatch, and right now the Broncos are going to be going up against Colorado State, which we just saw win a match against Fresno State. So fresh off a victory, the Rams are going to be looking to be a formidable opponent for the Broncos. We'll see if the Broncos have anything to say about that. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Brenner Bear Ladd. And Bear, I actually think that we have some interesting information on how the Broncos, how their team's going to be organized for this match.
Yeah, this is going to be actually very interesting because normally we play either the primary roles or secondary roles, but this time it's going to be a little bit mixed where we kind of have half and half. You know, the tanks are going to be on their main roles, DPS are going to be a little bit changed up, and then supports are going to be very different. So we'll have to wait and see how that will kind of line up against Colorado State, who, as you mentioned, just came off a win against the Bulldogs, and it was a close match. So now going up against the reigning champs of Boise State, they definitely have a hill to climb, and maybe these roster mix-ups could go in their favor, but this is something that the players do to try to help their communication and help their role identity in the team aspect. So hopefully we'll see a good set of matches in this best of 5.
Well, let's take a look at the overall rules for the match and how everything will work out. Like you just said, it's a best of 5, and the order of maps, it looks like, is going to be Control, Hybrid, Escort, Assault, just basically what we're used to with no hero bans. Pretty standard stuff as far as Collegiate Overwatch goes. We can also take a look at the lineup, which we have been talking about right now. And one thing I do want to say about that lineup is you are kind of going to see Sun Tzu right now, who is normally that we normally know as Goblin or Gob. They've been put, as Doc put it, they've been put in Mercy Jail, basically, Brig Mercy Jail. If they decide to press 2 on that Mercy and try Battle Mercy, then they'll be exclusively in Brig Jail for right now. So right now, Gob just kind of being held down a little bit to that role. But I'm sure they'll still try to find a way to make a great play. Maybe even try to still steal player of the game. That would kind of be the ultimate,
as is the
defiant statement, if you
will.
The
Gob tradition.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at Doc's keys to the game for Overwatch, and that is going to be to never take a fair fight. That means to take fights in unexpected places when your opponents are unprepared and when you can have ability advantages. Those are Doc's keys to the game, brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. You can play to win prizes in free and paid entry matches. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. Ready to head into the first match right now. As we start out on Control, normally kind of the standard opener that we've had has been Lijian, but that might change. But if I'm willing to bet, it is probably Lijian.
Yeah, and another welcome change we've seen a couple times is Oasis as well as Eichenwald for the hybrid map. So we could see that return as well, seeing as a lot of these teams have been trying to practice those more and more for something branching out. But Colorado State just coming off a win against Fresno.
It is going to be
Oasis. So a little bit of a change up from the Lijiang Tower that we have seen for the past year. So going into Oasis, especially with this being the first map, it's going to be all about that high ground control jumping up and down. So I would not be surprised if we saw a Wrecking Ball, a Winston, a Diva, or even something like a Tracer or a Brig to just have that higher speed. It seems both teams are going to go with that Sigma as well. So the Wrecking Ball Sigma Wombo combo is definitely going to be something both these teams, and even the Symmetra teleport. Seems they just want to get it on point as quickly as possible as things are about to kick off.
Yeah, but it looks like Colorado State is taking a flanky route of their own and trying to take the upper ground here. Skell is just going to slam right past them down onto the point, and Frost is able to take out Tree. Also, Beef being eliminated. Right now, it looks like Sun Tzu, I was told they were in Brig Mercy Jail, but apparently they want to go for the most DPS-y of all the supports. We might see some great plays on the Zen. It does look like he does help Bagel take out the Cassidy for Colorado State. Kel also following that up with the pick on to finish. Dio eliminated by Bagel, and Boise State is just pushing the Rams right up to their own spawn.
Yeah, this is how you hold a team, is at the spawn door as they just poke you from that safety wall. But Tracer going right in on Frost, dropping very low. Look how low Kel is and still does not get eliminated. Very impressive, but Colorado State needs to get a pick here if they want to be able to have an advantage going into this Bronco line. And that's it.
That is a good pick there, and they also managed to eat up that pulse bomb thrown out by Chosen. Eliminate him as a bit of salt in the wound, but Frost fighting back, taking out Supo. We see the Gravitic Flux not going to pick up anybody as Plato whiffs that one. The Broncos still managing to maintain some picks and a presence on point as Tree is eliminated. Sligathor answers that back by taking out Frost, and Kel is going to face a bit of pressure right now. But as right now it looks like Chosen has respawned, is back onto the point and has recovered, and with a pick onto Sligathor from Gob. Boise State still managing to stretch this out past 60%.
Yeah, able to pick off that secondary heals that removes the speed and the extra healing that Boise needs for these very low health squishies, DPS, and healers that they have, but they're just going to roll into Colorado and get 2 more.
And now Cal actually has a very nice opportunity here with this minefield, because Colorado State is basically forced in a position where they're going to have to get on point, and Cal can really punish them for that. Not if Frost just goes right into their backline, is able to get a hack onto Dio. That's followed up by Plato to take him out. And Scob is just doing work on the Zen here, just picking up a double. And that looks like it is it. The minefield's going to be dropped on the point. 2 minefields as Tree tries to spin to win here to try to give the Rams one last chance. But with the elimination from Kel, that looks like it is going to be it. Broncos take the first.
The hamster on hamster violence goes in the favor of Kel as he ends that with a triple. Definitely showing the better main tank, but Tree doing their best on their best roll of that ranking ball. But if you take a look at this highlight of Frost with a great EMP, solo EMP onto Dio actually.
I think it might have actually gone on to Finish, but Bagel just stole that away from him at the end.
Yeah, so Boise State playing very well around all of their ults, and the Rams had a ton of ults, but weren't able to capitalize on them as well as the Broncos did. And also, the Rams had a lot of shining moments. Beef was able to both eat the Tracer Bomb and then also get the elimination. So Boise State running a very squishy team comp other than both the tanks. So Colorado State getting it's a pick or two that definitely can lead them to winning a fight, but losing your break's not a great start.
Frost is going to continue putting pressure right now onto Colorado State, trying to find that juicy hack, and is going to get one onto Beef, and Plato follows that up. Now with the tanks gone for Colorado State, Boise State has a red carpet right to the point, and they are going to walk down it with a lot of pride as they take it.
Yeah, solid victory. Definitely pushed up a bit too far and got eliminated first, quickly followed by the rest of his team. So now Boise State, this is where you want to take the space and control where the next fight happens. This is something we see from the Broncos every time. And a hack going on to Dio was not able to get the elimination, but a lot of his teammates are very slow. Slagger below half is going to have to get healed up by the Lucio, but Bagel getting first blooded. He could put Boise State on their back foot.
But look out for Cal. He is moving in fast, but he is going to be going up against an army as Beef and Tree doing great work taking out Plato Chosen. Cal is also going to fall to Supa, and that's the first take for Colorado State, making it much tougher for Boise. And unfortunately for Bagel, I'm not quite sure why he was on point there.
He was just flying in out of nowhere. I mean, the fact that both your support hurts got eliminated first in that team fight meant that the fight was already over. The Broncos just didn't have the sustain in order to stop the aggressive push coming out from the Rams. And now the Rams even have the ult advantage.
Wait, what's happening? Did Frost just take the point on the Sombra from under Colorado State's noses? There were no eliminations.
They were too busy pooping Kel off the edge, I
Frost
guess.
just stole it from him. Oh no, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Oh man, Frost, that is a play of the game with no eliminations, I'll say right there. Bagel we're talking about booping off the edge. Bagel is going to be the one to get an environmental, finishing it up for the Broncos by taking out Tree.
Yeah, both Bagel and Chosen getting a double elimination in that, cleaning up the final team fight, but you look at the ult economy, it still favors the Rams as they're also very close to that Deadeye. Gonna open up with the Gratific Flux.
But it's quickly negated by great EMP. 4 people, now 5, including that hack that's brought out by Frost. Doing work on the Sombra, and Boise State just goes right through Finish, and Beef is gonna drop a very aggressive minefield right next to the Ram spawn and just mow down this Lucio. That is it for the Broncos. What a way to negate that old advantage.
That's the perk of a Sombra, and the fact that Frost is running her is proof in the pudding of how well she works, especially in this team composition. But
oh
even
no,
on the Zen
you're in. He's in jail. He can't get the play of the game.
Even when you put the DPS on support, he still gets it just by holding left click the whole time. One elimination was the okay, 2, but comparing that to the 5-man EMP. All right.
Well, Boise State is always looking for new players to join as well as staff for production. Top talent along with good grades and eligibility can improve your chances as well. To find out more information on how to join, go to boisestate.edu/esports. So now, what an insane performance there. I think we're just going to have to take a little bit of the break as Doc reprimands Gob for once again finding a way to steal the show. But we'll be back with the second match here. Boise State against the Rams, Colorado State. Boise State gained the first win. Will they be able to make this an undefeated? We'll find out after this.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You're currently watching our matchup of Boise State versus Colorado State in Mountain West Overwatch. We're ready to head into the second game right now as Boise State leads the series 1-0 in a best-of-5, ready to head into hybrid with the choice of stage going over to the Rams. I'm still your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Brenner Bearlad. And Brenner, one of the interesting things that Doc was talking to us about is that he's actually setting up kind of some interesting exercises for the team in terms of comms right now for this match.
Yeah, one thing he brought up to us was kind of muting everybody but one main player and saying, all right, you take control so everyone can kind of recognize who in what role sees what, is able to communicate across so that everyone has that team play of just, well, we can't say anything, so let's just play around this person as being the leader. So that can definitely change up the team dynamic if, the main tanks are always saying, all right, here's the situation up front. If they can't say anything, they have to play around, if you're the support play in the backline as the Ana saying, all right, here's what I see, you're going to miss out on some information, which just makes the game that much harder and puts Boise State in such a learning opportunity that will help these players grow.
Well, we're ready to head. It looks like Colorado State just kind of went with the standard pick, Kings Row. Maybe they're trying to get a bit of redemption for themselves because in their previous match against Fresno State, this was the one they lost. So,
yeah, it's definitely redemption time for that. And I'm curious if we might see a Statue of Liberty play with the Symmetra, or if it's just going to be pure Lucio Rush.
I think that just might have been lightning in a bottle the one time we've seen it. We've been asking for it for like 2 years since we originally seen it.
It's just so beautiful.
And the Broncos have not obliged our request, so we might just have to live with that one play, and that'll be it.
Give me Statue of Liberty or Battle Mercy. One of those two. Just do it.
Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna get your request here.
Yes.
Here we go. We're just about ready to start out. Both these teams kind of seeing what Boise State is.
At least you're getting a Roadhog.
Yeah, and they're going kind of long range. Oh, we see it from Colorado State.
But first elimination goes over to the side of Boise State with Chosen on the DPS, getting 2 main heals, main tank down. Kel getting 2 more. Both DPS down. Dio gets the refrag at least onto Bagel on that Zen because seems that Gob is now on Ana duty. Chosen showing who's the real Statue of Liberty, even emoting. All right.
This kind of rubs salt in the wound. Colorado State, you're winners in my hearts, though.
At least he's playing Reaper. He's playing the character. He's being the edgelord.
That is true.
But Tree will get the next elimination of this team fight onto Bagel once again. Bagel getting eliminated consistently as Beef takes down Chosen, though. As Kel gets the refrag onto Supa and Finish takes down Kel. Colorado is currently up 1. They still have all their heals and all their tanks, whereas Boise has lost a DPS and tank. Now they lost their main heals, but Frost is able to take down Dio as Tree gets the refrag onto Frost. Seems Boise State might have lost the point. They might be able to recontest. There are 3 members there, soon to be 4 with the road, but it's going to have to kick things off with the Gratific Flux onto the main heals, but the Immortality Field comes out to keep himself alive. Point at 95% and climbing 98. Beef gets the Flame Strike onto Plato. Super takes down Chosen. Kel takes down Dio, but Beef comes in with the charge onto Bagel. Slagathor takes down Kel. That's the first checkpoint for the Rams.
The good news for the Rams, too, is that they didn't really use a whole lot to take that first point. Boise State is going to have a few things to use, most notably the Dragon Strike and a Death Blossom if Colorado State isn't careful, but Colorado State can just kind of start off everything right now with the Shatter. They've got Engage, and they'll have the damage follow-up from Slagathor. They've got what they need lined up. Can they use it, though?
Yeah, and they're going to use that Amplification Matrix first for the Rams, and here comes the Shatter onto 3 members of the Broncos as Finish takes down Gob. Frost with the double dragons is able to take down Finish, but Chosen comes in with a 2-piece, even the Death Blossom to take down Beef and Slagathor. Tree, even with the mines, picks off a rotating Bagel, I believe, in the back line as Plato gets the refrag onto Tree, and Dio with the right click gets the elimination on Chosen, who must have just been that low.
Boise State, I don't really think they're going to have that much to fight with this time. The closest thing they're going to have is that Gravitic Flux, but not for the fight being, as Plato is taken out in a very nice pick by Finish.
Yeah, Bagel wasn't able to get to him in time with that speed boost to keep him alive, so now Gob's just going to get run up on by the May. Immortality Field keeping him alive, but with Chosen on the Doomfist, he's there to save the day. Instead gets frozen and taken down by Finish. A great Blizzard by Supa in order to get that elimination, give them the 1-up, but Frost is going to make it even with a great headshot onto Slagathor, and now Gob wins the 1v1 against Finish. Down the main heals and DPS. Tree's gonna take down the main tank of the Broncos to give them that leg up, but even Broncos being down a member is never truly out. They have the double dragons. Is he looking to use it as Tree comes flying in? Here it comes onto the backline of the Rams, able to pick off Dio. That's the heels down rock in the face of the May. This is the Broncos' point.
Plato with just a wave there is going to chase after Supa here on the May, finds them in the subway, and just kind of mows them again. Get away! Sorry, this tunnel is closed. We're doing maintenance right now.
This is their buildup of ice.
Take alternate routes, please. Well, look at Bagel there on the Lucio, already taking out Tree.
Yeah, and Chosen goes right into the back line on to finish. That's your main heals down. He does end up losing his life to Beef as the Blizzard comes out, and Kel uses the mines to answer it. As the elimination does go in the favor of Kel as he gets taken down by Dio, trading back and forth. But Frost, once again with a pick onto Slagathor, and Gob taking down Dio. The Rams need to just go for a clean reset here so they can have a solid team push.
I mean, I think this is what Boise State wants, you know, with all the amount that they were able to stall out Supa here off on this weird route way off to the side of the payload, also kind of baiting out that Blizzard. It's just, this is exactly kind of what the Broncos want. They want to just try to get any sort of resources away from Colorado State by just pressuring them in these weird flank routes.
Yeah, so Boise State's going to engage with the Sound Barrier and the Gratific Flex, leading to the elimination of Beef before he even hits the ground. So now Gob's going to get even more aggressive as he does and get the elimination onto Slagathor as Plato follows him to get the elimination on the finish. But all the way in the back line, they're having to worry about Tree, so it's the battle of the hamsters as Chosen takes down Supa on the May. Seems that the hamsters just going to have to back off for the Rams, as it seems that the Rams just need to go for a regroup, but Tree's still going to get the elimination onto Plato. Now the Meteor Strike's going to come out for Chosen right onto the spawn as Gob trades out with Slagathor's finish, takes him down. It is just a brawl between these people as they consistently trade, and this hamster in the back line is trying to backdoor this point.
This is one of the weirdest fights I've ever seen.
It is so far spread as both the Lucio and the Wrecking Ball go right back on the back line. Kel gets frozen and taken down by Dio as well, but finally Plato is the one of two members on the point trying to defend, as Gob's now on the Moira.
Well, I gotta hand it to you, Tree. If it works, it works. He manages to get the point to the get the payload to the checkpoint, and Dio and Slagathor are also starting things off nice here.
Yeah, Slagathor finally not getting picked off, is able to deal some damage, gets a pick as Chosen takes down Tree, but immediately gets taken down by Finish for that refrag for the Rams as they're beginning to push this cart through the point. All three members on the cart making sure to get it as fast as possible. And engage with the mines coming out from Kel. To zone him off the point, falling very low, looking at a very low May as the Shatter comes out onto three members, or two members actually. Kel just got frozen there. Now the Science is going to come out, leading to the elimination of Frost. Plato's going to just simply get knocked off the edge or suicide as Supa takes down Kel. Slagathor takes down Gob, and that's almost a team wipe for the Rams.
Oh, and I just want to, I think Frost might just do a Hail Mary here with this Dragon Strike, though. Watch out for it, Rams.
Yeah, it's going to go right on the cart, not lead to an elimination, sadly, but instead the zoning capabilities right into the Brothers coming out of spawn as this Tree wins the battle of the hamsters, and with the mines takes down Plato. Bagel finally is able to get the boop elimination, but Dio with the two-piece onto both the Moira and the Hanzo as Chosen comes in the back line, will end up trading as well. But with Broncos having that spawn advantage, they're looking very good here. But now Beef on this Rhine, back onto his main, is going to get Gratific Flux soloed. He's going to be able to survive it with the help of the Immortality Field as Kel in the backline slams right down, also getting frozen as Plato gets a two-piece onto the main tank and the main heals. Tries to melee the May through the ice block, will not be able to get it, but Bagel's right next to him, getting a two-piece onto Slagathor and Supa as Gob's going to use that Coalescence to take down Dio.
And it looks like Boise State is going to find a way to hold this payload here, preventing the Rams from getting 3 points. You see a final swap over from Supa onto the Tracer, but is it all for naught as Beef gets taken out of their Mac and Tree, trying to spin to win here onto the point, and some other Rams come in for reinforcements, but Frost and Kel are continuing the punish right now. And with that minefield dropped, I think that is probably going to be the end for the Rams' offensive push here. Boise State holding the Rams to just 2 points.
Yeah, they finished it out with a team kill, but that fight was all over the place. It felt like it never ended. They were brawling both on the car and at the enemy spawn consistently for that whole first cart checkpoint. And then as soon as they got indoors, it was more concise team fights, but it was still very much constant trading. Boise State surprised of how much they were just trading and not getting as much value as they should have. Those mixed rolls have definitely been costing them, but they were still able to come out with that win.
Yeah, I think very kind of low-key. Bagel actually probably had one of the most consequential environmentals onto Tree for Colorado State, because not in the last fight, but the fight before that, Tree had already dropped the minefield, created a lot of zone, and picked up a double. And then just in that activity feed, he gets knocked out by Bagel, and with the respawns being in the advantage for Boise State, I think that gave them just enough time to make the all respawn and make their presence known again. If Tree had managed to take out Bagel and stay on point, I think we would have been looking at Colorado State with 3 points here.
Yeah, and Tree has been actually a really big carry of the Rams. We saw it in the previous match against Fresno State of how much chaos he can cause in the backline, and he was my player of the game for their team, so I expect him to succeed on this Wrecking Ball. I'd be surprised if he wasn't playing it this time around, because Beef was also doing very well on that Sigma.
Right now it looks like Broncos not quite going for that Symmetra. Oh wait, are they actually doing it?
Is it a
it's
no
not
Bastion.
a true. It's a no Bastion, but still using the same thing the Rams did.
Yeah, we did see Kel go in first, and Frost will get the first elimination on a Dio, quickly followed by Kel taking down Supa, but Beef gets the first elimination for his team with a melee onto Plato. As Bagel now on the Ana takes down Beef, and Frost finishes off Tree. That should be the point, as Finish all the way up top being the lone main heals, able to take down Bagel surprisingly, but Frost will finish him off.
That is a take much faster initially than the Rams were able to. But Rams are going to recontest, actually.
Yeah, definitely a much more ballsy play, as you know Tree is just going to constantly be poking them with this Wrecking Ball. Falling down to half health, even the Sleep Dart attempt so close for Bagel, but they will end up capping in. So now 5:30 on the board for them. You know they're going to get aggressive. Bagel's juking out those May Icicles best they can, but look how far Boise State is pushed up.
Yeah, and they're making sure that they're not leaving anyone off the payload too. All of this fight right now that they're doing way up here near the first checkpoint is just allowing their payload to be pushed uncontested.
Yeah, it took down main heals first, then Slagather, now Tree, but Suba taking down Bagel all the way on the cart. You got to turn around, Boise State, make sure to get that cart as Plato wins the 1v1 against Beef. They're pushed up into their spot once again.
The question is, where's Supa? Supa was the one who took out Bagel, so how's Supa getting back home safe?
Now Gob going in with the coalescence. You're the support, sir. What are you doing? Gets elimination with the ball. As we all know, Moors only throw right-click damage balls. Kel gets the elimination onto Supa in the backline, so now the car is finally making progress, but Broncos are not going to let the Rams leave this second checkpoint, it seems.
Now Bagel is just sitting on the payload happy again, whereas the Bronco... Uh-oh, look out for Slagathor, though. He wants to try to pick off the Broncos here.
Yeah, he's been able to get a couple of trades. Same with Frost going right in onto Dio, trying to contest that cart far in the backline as he can. Tree come flying in. Might have been a bit of a fat finger for that Gratific Flux. Will end up getting his counterpart and the elimination
What are you
onto
talking
Tree,
about? That was all planned.
Oh, 100% planned, calculated, but Broncos coming in, almost getting a team kill with Slagather's death timer coming back just at the perfect time to deny it. And they got that first checkpoint practically free uncontested because they just pushed up so far.
Now Boise State, well, maybe pushed up a little bit too far as Tree swaps over to the Hog and takes out Plato.
Yeah, also forcing out the amplification matrix from Finish, even getting a great hook onto Gob, who's of course being too aggressive on that Moira. Will get taken down, so now Boise State needs to regroup, losing that secondary heals. Chosen getting a ton of pressure from Dio on that Lucio. Will he commit the pulse bomb, not land it? Instead, Frost will get the elimination onto Slagather and get traded out by Finish. making sure to cover each other's butts. Colorado playing very close together, and it's been working for them.
Boise State now trying to push around this corner. They basically used just about every ultimate they have as soon as it's come online, and Beef is going to try to punish them for that by using that Gravitic Flux. Is able to take out Bagel, who seems to be the main one who's been getting picked off.
Yeah, taking down the main heals is where you want to push this advantage, but Gob's going to come right in with the Coalescence, so they're going to answer it with the Barrier and the Deadeye. All of the ults are gone from Colorado State, so now Frost is going to come in with the Meteor Strike, but only having 7 health doesn't mean you'll survive. So now Plato gets a 2-piece onto Dio, and Slagather has chosen and takes down Beef, being +3 right now. Boise State's looking very good. Now they just have to deal with this May, who's the last one contesting the card at the moment, as Bagel takes down Finish. No main heals for the Rams is not looking good as Slagather now on the Doomfist takes down Gob on the Moira, and Plato gets the melee onto Super. That's the Magon. You can push the car as Beef takes down Chosen, and Plato who gets the Suicide this time. Seems Boise State might just have to reset.
It looks like that is indeed what they're going to do. That whole hog from Tree did help clear out some space for the Rams to regain their footing. Boise State started this with 5 minutes, so 2 minutes are already gone for Colorado State, but they're going to have to play perfectly from here on out, and especially this is going to be a tough engagement for them with no ultimates to use.
Yeah, as you mentioned, no ultimates is a huge problem going up against 2 tank ults, and with how fast Gob has charged these Coalescence, it's definitely something to watch out for as Tree gets the first elimination on a Chosen, and Bagel takes down Super. They're even, but Plato coming in with a great Gravitic Flux, taking down both the Doomfist and the Roadhog, as Kel comes in with the Mines as well, taking down Beef. Bagel takes down Finish. Gob finishes off Dio as Dio gets the post-mortem boop onto Plato. That should be it, but now it's just keep May off the point. Bagel almost falling off the edge from that as Frost finishes off the May. It is all out stall for the Rams. Here comes out the Coalescence for Gob, taking down the Immortality Field. As Chosen takes down Slagather as well as Finish on a 2-piece. Can he make it a 3? You know he's looking for it to demech that Diva. Instead, he's going to pick up Dio. Chosen showing why he should be on the DPS role as Frost takes down Beef as well as Slagather. Both DPSs carrying their weight right now as Bagel once again gets the right-click elimination onto Supa. Player takes down Tree, and after a long-winded brawl, Boise State takes Kings Row.
That was a really kind of odd fight from beginning to end. It seemed for a majority of the fight they were playing anywhere but the point as Boise State was making their way, just fighting them in just every flank route here. And Plato actually taking it with that Gravitic Flux.
Yeah, 2-piece onto both a Roadhog and Doomfist definitely set up Boise State for the success of this final push. And of course, right at the tail end, we see him booped off the edge.
Well, a top sponsor of Boise State Esports is the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. So we're going to be ready to head into the third map very soon here as Boise State finds themselves at match point. Going to be going into a full escort push. But for now, we'll take a short break, give the Broncos a little bit of a chance to regain their composure, and we'll be back after this set of messages.
NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You're watching our matchup against Colorado State. Boise State in Mountain West Overwatch getting 2 wins so far in this best of 5. Now find themselves at match point as we're ready to head into the 3rd stage on Escort. So we'll see what the Rams choose and if they have a strategy to get back into the game. My name's Jacob Jim Palmer. I'm still your host, joined by Brenner Barrelad. And, well, I gotta say, Brenner, it's probably the weirdest, one of the weirdest series that's unfolding because on Kings Row, I don't know if I've ever seen half of a team split up to push to the team's payload, whereas the other half fights a flanker from Colorado State who tries to capture the point all by themselves. It was just weird all around, that last fight.
Yeah, it was definitely the definition of shenanigans because as Colorado State is our most played against team, maybe this is just something that we've worked out at this point of, all right, we know how each other works. Let's have fun with it or something. I don't know. I'm not a part of it, but it definitely seems to be that case because both teams each had their moment to shine. Each had, big, fantastic plays, won a big team fight. But at the same time, they also were just consistently brawling, as you mentioned, where they were splitting half and half on Kings Row. So now heading over to Escort, I'm kind of worried that they might do the same thing, especially on a map like Havana, with how big and how wide open it is. This could be another huge map to favor, the wrecking balls that have been on both sides of Kell and Tree of just cause chaos in the back line.
It's definitely one of those stages that we tend to see the most full holds on. So Boise State, Colorado State, I don't necessarily know what plan they have, but it certainly invites the Broncos to just kind of close this out as fast as possible because especially if Boise State is on point with their snipers, because the first part of this map just invites so much sniper play.
Yeah, it definitely favors the long range. We could see probably a lot of aerial as well with, a Pharmacy or Echo Mercy. And if Gob is truly locked to the Mercy Brig, we could definitely see that come out if he maintains on support. And at the same time, we still have the comm rules for Boise State, whereas, 1 or 2 members is leading the comms and everyone else is hard muted. They can't speak at all, so they just have to listen to, these handful of players that have to keep an eye on everything and lead the team. So that's where the team play is going to be really vital here and where maybe Boise State has been struggling a little bit, which is why Colorado has been able to get as far as they have.
Well, let's get ready to head into the 3rd stage right now. We're going to be on Havana, Boise State versus Colorado State. Before we jump into it, though, I think we do have Doc's keys to the game. Just as a final review for the Broncos, although they have been following these pieces of advice pretty good, and that's never to take a fair fight, which means to take fights in unexpected places when your opponents are unprepared and when you have ability advantages. Brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. You can play to win prizes through free and paid entry matches. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. Go to dropingaming.com for more information. Like I said, this is Boise State versus Colorado State. The Broncos versus the Rams in Mountain West Collegiate Overwatch. Boise State has had just kind of a really great performance, despite a few shenanigans, has managed to find themselves at match point, and now we'll be moving on. I have to say, we've talked a little bit about secondary roles. There has been some secondary roles brought out. I wonder if just for this third stage we won't all see that, if there isn't just one final wave of fun before the night ends. But before we get to that, before we have that question answered, we want to take a look back at what has led us up here. Maybe we'll see some of those shenanigans we've been talking about a little bit. So, shenanigans indeed.
Already on that Rocket League shenanigans, but this was the very first map of Oasis with Frost getting that solo EMP onto that poor old Tracer. Oof.
Yeah, it actually... Yeah, I actually think it was on the Lucio, actually, right as they were about to get that sound barrier, too. So, but here was just, this has been some great play from Kel all night long. He has been insane on this Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, both Wrecking Balls have just been playing out of their minds right now. I mean, keep highlighting Tree again and again. They just did so well. Oh, and as we head over to Kings Row, can see a little bit of the plays coming out from Plato, but yeah, some definitely interesting highlights from the night of shenanigans that we've had.
Yeah, it just was, it felt very, we could call it shenanigans. I also would probably like to say it's very solo queue reminiscent, just everyone fighting all over the place. But now we might just get kind of a very quick end to the festivities tonight as we are ready to head into Havana. And we've talked about the long range, but also Boise State isn't that unfamiliar with going for the short hold here, just getting right up against the other team's spawn.
Yeah, that's where things like the May and the Cole Cassidy can come into play. Maybe even a Reaper if they want to truly just go for, we're going to hold you at your spawn doors.
Well, we'll have to see what Boise State brings out. We'll definitely see. It looks like if Boise State is in the blue like they've always been, that would be, well, yeah, I suppose that they would choose defense because the one who doesn't choose the stage chooses the side. So that means Colorado State is going to be the ones who have to, they're going to have to get at least to the first checkpoint here if they want to have a chance. Yeah,
and as we talked about, whether it's a, really tight hold or further back, they're going to go for the long back play with the Ash and Soldier. So, also even missing a tank. Going to be playing down one. Did end up losing Plato, I believe. Or
yeah, I believe so.
So now
this is kind of an interesting turn of events.
Yes, so Colorado State sitting very pretty, just pushing right past the high ground that Boise State is holding. Kel even having to go into that main tank role to just try to hold the team. We're just already playing Overwatch 2.
Yeah, I was about to say, Boise State they just got early access to it. We're having to play the new meta. It's not going to stop Boise State. I mean, look at Gob here.
Yeah, he got a 2-piece on the Baptiste, so Boise State playing with 3 DPS, 1 healer, and 1 tank has definitely been interesting as Tree is able on this Orisa to take down Kel, but Gob comes in taking down Dio, Chosen taking down Finish, Gob taking down Tree, even being down the main tank. They're still able to capitalize on this, and now on the 5 kill streak, doing just fine. They weren't able to stop the checkpoint, but doing just fine.
Well, they're going to have 5 minutes to keep, you know what? They're going to do even fine if Colorado State does something like that. Walking in one at a time, never a good idea.
Yeah, just maintaining the high ground, forcing the Rams to just push through this constant barrage of damage. This is something we've seen on Blizzard World, where you just hold the high ground and the cart can't be pushed because you just have to have an answer for this damage. Even the Maywall coming out to try to get to the high ground in time. But Bagel and Gob are going to be able to eliminate all of those members trying to rotate over. The cart's just not going to get pushed now.
We stayed already charged up a good amount of resources here. They're basically going to have all but one ultimate available for this next fight, whereas Colorado State, the only one they have, Dio can't use because he got taken out. But now he's going to respawn and might try to negate whatever Boise State throws at him with this Transcendence.
Yeah, Red even swapping over to the Torbjorn, which is definitely interesting as Chosen gets the Helix Rocket elimination on to finish. That's your main heals down again. I'm surprised how often he's been getting taken down. Chosen on a 10-person kill streak right now, just not being respected at all on this Soldier 76, as Gob as well also doing phenomenally as Frost now coming in with the Ash, able to take down Supa. Holding this high ground is preventing Colorado State to even touching the point.
And they can't really exit out any sort of doorway without a huge amount of damage being pelted on them from both of these DPSs from Boise State, who, might I mention, have not used their ultimates. They're just content to use whatever their left click gives them.
I mean, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as we see Dio finally get an elimination on Chosen. That brings the end of his kill streak, but now Frost on their own 10-person kill streak. Kel and Bagel coming back, taking down the Zenyatta and the Sigma. Finish falling very low. Kel sees that and capitalizes on it, taking him down as Red takes down Bagel. This Torb has not been able to get as much value as he should. May tries to go for the wall jump, unable to make it. Ends up getting taken down by Gob, who trades out with Beef as Red takes down Kel, and Frost trades out with Red. Once again, Tree on this Wrecking Ball just trying to push the cart by their lonesome.
Interesting move there by Chosen, bringing out his tactical visor and gets focused down by Dio for it, but not before he manages to take out Tree, so at least trading 1-to-1. But when you're down one, you need to be trading better than 1-to-1. Luckily for Boise State, Bagel with this Transcendence is going to have what Boise State needs to hopefully keep them alive while they look for their first pick to even things up.
Yeah, the Rams have 4 ultimates in their toolkit right now. And finally, Broncos will commit the Bob from Frost, as well as the Transcendence, to just eat up every single mine. The Reds coming in with the hammer elimination onto Frost as Tree takes down Bob. Kel finally gets an answer onto Red, but finishing Dio and Beef just coming in, sweeping up the backline of Boise as Kel's still out front, able to at least trade with one more before he falls.
Well, it looks like Frost, we're going to see some swaps be brought out across the board here as Frost has swapped over to the Cassidy, actually going over to the Widowmaker here, which there are some very long-range sidelines on this third point, so we'll see how good he can do on it.
Yeah, it comes down to the third point of Havana, which is something we don't see all that often, but being down a man is definitely going to put Boise State in not the best situation, especially going up against a Torb who's trying to be a sniper. We can see how far he's just shooting those left legs, but Frost on this Widow barely misses the headshot on that May. Definitely should have had it, but the Sigma is going to be like, you don't get a sightline anymore with that shield.
Well, the good news for Boise State is, if you judge about the time that they had to hold Colorado State, as Colorado State started the second third of this map with 5 minutes, they're only going to have a little bit over 3 minutes for this last part here. So it's kind of just slowly but surely the Broncos are managing to bleed time away from the Rams. And right now they're doing a pretty good job of getting pick after pick against the Rams. But the Rams still having that one-person advantage. Look at Kel here. He's going for the close hold here.
Yeah, Chosen's going to bring out the sights as well on the high ground, try to pick off at least one, but also forces out the Molten Core from Red. Frost able to pick up the elimination onto Dio in the backline. Beef takes down Chosen with that visor. Now Kel finally will get slowed and frozen by Suba, who also throws out the Blizzard.
Kel is just not going to get away.
Yeah, so Red's going to swap over to the Widow and finishes now on the Zenyatta. Chosen finally respawns, takes down Beef. Frost with the wall hacks, it allows Chosen to get a double.
The one benefit for Boise State here, though, is even though they are unfortunately down one overall in connection, the respawn starts to work out more to their advantage as they reach this final point. So that could be the one thing that kind of even things up here.
Yeah, Battle of the Widows occurs, and Red takes it with the grapple jump shot. Gob finally does some healing. First time we have seen that on his end. Not dealing the DPS, so Kel will get the next elimination onto Supa, quickly followed by him also taking down Finish. Red on this Widow has been doing work, taking down Chosen. Tree with the melee onto Bagel. Frost finally is able to win that 1v1, and Kel's just gonna accept his demise.
Ooh, is he going to be able to respawn fast enough, though, because there isn't a lot of space left, but he is going to have that minefield, which can just clear the Rams off of this cart and make this final point very hard to take. Boise State has already bled the Rams down to under a minute.
Frost making sure to win those 1v1s against Red as Gob comes in with the triple on the Baptiste to deny the Rams push.
Right now, he's just going to try to clear out some of these mines here. And Kel holding on to this minefield. I gotta say, this is probably what's going to decide it right now, because he can just drop it on point and say GG.
Yeah, you know he's going to wait till overtime to use it, as well as Gob with that amplification matrix, throw it right down on top of the cart, or that high ground, and he'll be able to hold it. The cart's pushing. There comes the mines from Kel. The Discord orb is on him, so he's falling very low. Tree's just as low as he is, so Dio's going to have to use the sound barrier to stay alive. Chosen will be the first one to fall, but Gob gets a refrag onto Dio, quickly followed by Beef taking down Bagel. Gob takes down Super. That's no May. They can't stall that long as Tree takes down Keldo as well as Baptiste. And that will be it with no time remaining. Boise State held out for as long as they could.
Yeah, it's still pretty impressive considering they're down one. At least taking all the time away from the Rams. We saw here this was kind of the last attempt. I gotta say, Gob is just insane how he's playing this map like a DPS.
I mean, it's been working. The fact that they got to overtime being a member down just shows the individual level that they've been able to sustain the six-man team plays of the Rams. They held them for way too long in that first checkpoint after they got it and just never let them in the building. So Boise State showing hi, we are the reigning champs of the Mountain West, but the Rams can bring it back. They definitely have a chance here.
Well, here go the Broncos. It's going to be, you know, do I see two tanks in the outlines for the Broncos? Have we had a reconnect here?
Do see the Sigma.
I do see 6. Yeah, okay, we have the reconnect.
So Boise State back at full strength. This is where we should see them hopefully push right through the Colorado State, get that time advantage, and push into overtime for Havana. But the Rams have been giving Boise State a run for their money right now, so you might even see the Broncos back on their main roles just to try to make sure that they stay undefeated in the Mountain West. The fight begins to kick off, and it seems that the Rams are also going for a much closer hold, even walling off most of the Broncos. Tree looking for that amazing ground pound. We're even going to see a Mercy in the backline. That has to be a Bagel this time on the Mercy, with Gob staying on this Baptiste. A great anti-nade onto 3 members, taking down both Chosen and Sunzu. Tree with the triple, also taking down Kel. Finally, Plato is able to take down at least Supa, but Frost on the point, doing their best to at least sustain. Bagel's trying to keep that secondary tank alive as Frost does end up falling. Have to run back into spawn just to deny some of that damage. Kel comes back alive, gets some damage in the back lane, and Chosen gets the next elimination on to finish that main heals down, but they still have Dio of that Ana in the back line. Chosen gets another onto Beef, and the cart starts moving.
Well, it's going to be all about pacing right now. If Boise State can meet the pace that Colorado State did. Right now, the Rams have already, with that close hold, bled the time away from the Broncos, giving themselves a little bit of time to charge up their ultimates, which are pretty even, although the slight advantage goes over to Boise State with Plato holding this Gravitic Flux.
Yeah, waiting for that perfect moment to get at least 1 or 2 members of high-value targets. Tree's going to go right up on that high ground and contest Gob, who's going to survive unharmed. Here goes the Gravitic Flux onto the main heals. That leads the elimination. Solo amplification matrix trying to knock him down, even with the mines. Tree finally takes him down, but Kel makes sure to take down Dio. Chosen takes down Red in the 1v1. The res coming out from Bagel uncontested as Kel takes down Beef. That should be the checkpoint with no heals.
And I just have to wonder, here we see Bagel with this Valkyrie that's charged. Is it that type of night? You've been asking for the Battle Mercy so often, Brenner.
It's time.
Chosen!
Even the fan, the hammer. This is day one Overwatch, baby.
Here we go, we're focusing on Bagel right now. Plato, unfortunately, is going to get frozen.
Yeah, so Finish will throw out his Amplification Matrix. Supa threw out the Blizzard, was not able to get any capitalization on it as Bagel throws out the Valkyrie you just brought up.
There it is!
2 seconds, and it's gone.
What was that production?
Well, you did see Plato at least win the 1v1 against Beef as Tree gets frozen by Frost. Chosen falling very low as Plato takes down the Torb turret. Red back on this Torb. Getting a lot of free distance on the car as Boise State finally realized, oh yeah, this is an objective.
I know that was probably just an auto camera change, but what an unfortunate time to do it when the Battle Mercy finally comes out. We don't get to see any of it.
I mean, it ended right after. There is no time left on the Valkyrie. Plato making sure to always take down this turret and the Immortality Field as Frost gets the elimination onto Tree, causing so much issue. May in the back line.
This is what we saw on King's Row. That May is just
going in on Gob, who has a pocket mercy. Not the brightest of decisions as the rest of your team falls.
And this is kind of a divide and conquer strategy that Boise State has had. When Colorado State kind of splits up, they might be able to get a pick here or there against Boise State, but overall it's just been to the Broncos' favor.
Yeah, Chosen coming in with the double both onto Tree and Red. So we're going to see a little bit of swaps as Dio's back on that Lucio this time around. Tree sticking to that hamster as he has the mines online. Same with Finish and the Amplification Matrix. Going to use it as soon as he gets it. Pretty spread out though since he was so high up. Not going to lead to elimination. Instead, Red's just going to get the elimination onto Kel. So Boise State's going to lose their own hamster, and Tree's just trying to contest the cart the best he can to buy his team some time as Supa eliminates Bagel. But they still have Gob alive, so they have at least a healer. But they also have spawn advantage, so they'll just be back that much quicker.
Ooh, that's crucial. Frozen there. Tree almost gets away. He's saying a lot of damage, though. Is very low, but he is finally taken out by Gob, and this could be, I think this is the pick Boise State needs to get back in the fight.
Yeah, committing both ultimates to get at least 1 or 2 eliminations. They did end up losing Kel to Finish, but they committed the Blizzard and the Amplification Matrix. That's why you got Bagel on the Mercy. Rezzing Kel just pushes the cart that much quicker to cause that much chaos in the backline. Tree's doing their best to carry their team to last them that much longer, but look at the time difference.
Yeah, this is quite an opening here, and this Deadeye gonna get blocked by the wall.
Good Maywall, at least. The Molten Core does come out, leads to the elimination of Kel, who trades by knocking him off the edge. Mortality Field surprisingly eliminates the Immortality Field, but Dio gets another boop onto Plato as Beef with the rock knocks some sense into Frost and eliminates them as Chosen takes down Finish. It's still constant brawls. Finally, Dio would take down Chosen. Boise State just needs to hard reset.
I do got to say, Tree is very good on this wrecking ball, kind of getting in Boise State's face and being able to challenge them, get a little bit more ult percentage on his ultimate, but then get back safely to the rest of his team. He's very good at that for a wrecking ball.
Yeah, so Gratific Flux is going to come out from Beef, only landing onto Kel, who had that Pocket Mercy the whole time. Now both mines from both hamsters are going to come out, and both support ults for the Rams and Boise State. All the accused got pressed here. But Gob will be the first to fall, quickly followed by Chosen taking down Dio. Dio gets the boop environmental onto Plato. The Battle Mercy for 2 seconds, and you cut away from Ash. She gets an elimination. And Red with the turret eliminates Bagel. That's the end of the Boise State push.
And this is just where kind of just the reality of Havana really starts to go up against the Broncos, because the third point is so hard to take. I mean, they had a great defense against Colorado State, but remember, they were down 1 in that fight. Right now, it's the very hard map to win on, and Boise State just has to make sure they play right here, because with the amount of time left on the clock, I think they can charge up some ults for one final engagement. They just got to be not too careless.
Yeah, Frost at half HP as Chosen gets the elimination onto Tree. We did see Kel eliminated at the very start of that fight, but he can come back just so much quicker. Bagel swapping over to that Zenyatta from the Mercy as the Double Dragons come out for Boise State on that Hanzo. Oh, will not lead to elimination. Instead, Red will get the turret onto Frost. Now the Molten Core coming out from Red, falling very low. But Chosen will get some poke damage on to Hamster, trying to eliminate that Torb. But instead, Gob will win the 1v1 of the Baptiste. Bagel taking down the Mei. Here comes the Amplification Matrix from Gob, trying to line of sight anybody coming up from spawn, but instead he will get eliminated by the Torb as Chosen takes down Tree. Frost with a great double, taking down Beef with the Pulse Bomb, taking down Red. Now quickly followed by Plato taking down Dio. Chosen taking down Finish, and they cap it with a minute 49 on the board.
And I think one thing that really kind of bit Colorado State there was not really contesting Chosen here on this Hanzo, because Chosen was just more than content to kind of duck in between these doorways, take out the Torb and his turret at far range. Even when the Torb was using that Molten Core, he almost got taken out and just had to go back into his own spawn because of all the damage that Chosen was continually pelting onto the Rams on that Hanzo.
Yeah, he was definitely a huge problem in the backline for the Rams.
Especially since, you know, Tree got very close to Chosen as well. So, you know, Chosen was kind of off by himself in those narrow ways. So if you get, you know, kind of your off tank with the support backup to just quickly focus down that Hanzo, take him out of the equation, I think Colorado State might have been able to hold. But of course, hindsight 2020.
Yeah, so now the Rams back on attack. This time going to have to go up against the full force of the Broncos, having both tanks. Might be some sneaky playtime.
Yeah, and this is, I like Boise State going for this, and we saw how much time Colorado State was able to bleed off from the Broncos by going for this close hold. It just puts your team in such an awkward position where you almost kind of have to split up and do a split push, but it really is hard if the team goes for the close hold here on Havana. Although Tree!
A little bit about a ring around the rosy as Boise State went towards their far side and Colorado went where they were, but Chosen's going to get the first 2 eliminations, both onto Beef and Supa very quickly. Chosen. New DPS main? What?
And you see here, just 30 seconds left already. Those first 2 picks has really put Colorado State in a bind here. One thing is Tree is trying his best to try to divert attention away from the Broncos, but they're still getting their picks.
Yeah, Gob gets the pick onto Red, who's an attack Torb, even though you can't leave spawn, is definitely an interesting pick coming out from the Rams. As Chosen once again eliminates Supa. Tree having great engages onto the main heals, but does not have the team to back him up as Plato gets the elimination onto Tree. And with 5 seconds remaining, they have yet to touch the cart, and that might be it for the Rams.
Yeah, once Tree got eliminated, I didn't think Colorado State really would be able to push out. Tree was really the only one with the speed of the Wrecking Ball to get out of that close hold bang, and then try to kind of maybe distract the Broncos, maybe get them to turn around, making some space for Colorado State. But once he's out of the picture, then you've just got all the Broncos pushing you into those doors on your spawn, and you're not able to get out.
Yeah, so now with Boise State on the attack, they just need to push the cart barely, I think?
I don't even know how much they need to push the cart.
The Rams didn't move it at all. It's in the same spot, and since there's no golden outlier,
I mean, it basically forces the Rams. They have to close hold here.
Yeah, so just don't go Torb. Like, Red did so well on the Torb on other maps that favor him, but here on Havana, especially, it needs to move an inch. So this is where, if the Rams want to have a chance at least drawing the Broncos, we need to see something like
the shortest drive I've ever seen.
This is definitely a first in our series that we've casted. So now I expect to see a Reaper and a Cole Cassidy for really close holds.
I don't know. You don't even need to.
Hanzo?
You don't even need to press the gas.
Why are they so far back?
You just need to release the handbrake, and you've got it.
I mean, that's what the Broncos are going to do, because the Rams are just like, all right, you can have it.
Well, the Broncos aren't even going. The Broncos are taking the flank route.
It's okay, guys. You got
it. Okay. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it ends. It ends fast. That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, just clean sweep on that final push. I mean,
oh god,
finish. All right,
okay,
showing God how it's done, I guess.
I suppose so. I mean, yeah, and this was Boise State. They had such a hard time getting this 3rd point that Finish was able to make some great picks like this. So, congrats to him.
Yeah, very surprising to see the enemy main heels getting play of the game, but a welcome change. But Broncos continuing that 3-0 victory, maintaining undefeated in the Mountain West.
Well, overall, quite an eventful match. Despite it being a 3-0, we sure saw a lot of weird stuff happening in that match, to Boise State having to defend with one person gone on Havana, but it all works out for the Broncos, so overall, great job. And I got to say, now's the time where we say player of the game, and I know we can't necessarily give it to Gob because he is in jail, so, you know, he was put in support jail.
Not really.
Doc tried to put him in support jail, but he still found a way, so I don't know, you could even give it to Gob, which would be the ultimate irony here, but we saw a bunch of great plays from all the Broncos, so it really could go to any one of them.
My personal pick is Bagel because he played the Mercy and attempted the Battle Mercy.
He had tried.
It was
and
the
so,
moral victory. So, I mean, he got like 2 eliminations on the Mercy, so he wins in my book.
Yeah, he did manage to get an elimination on the Mercy, so that's still something. It's better than trying and not getting anything, so we'll have to see how it all shakes out. And right now, player of the game going to be brought over to Tree, which I actually think this is a really good kind of pick in terms of pure sportsmanship, too, for recognizing the talent on Colorado State, because Tree was kind of insane as a wrecking ball for Colorado State.
Yeah, we only talked about the Broncos, and we didn't get a chance to talk about Colorado State, but Tree was 100% the star player. I mean, Beef had a lot of his own moments that he did shine on that main tank of the Sigma a lot of the times, but Tree on this wrecking ball was a force to be reckoned with. He was not eliminated first in almost any fight because of how good he was on that wrecking ball. You and I have both noted multiple times of just Tree is really good on this wrecking ball. Like, he was beating Kel in 1v1s, who's one of the best off tanks in the collegiate scene.
Yeah, when you can do that.
Huge props to Tree for this wrecking ball of just, even on King's Row, he was able to try to push the cart with the help of Dio all by himself a lot of the time. So, well-deserved to Tree, and like you mentioned, great sportsmanship.
Yep, brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Tree is your ICCU player of the game. Now we're just going to be prepared to close out tonight with the top 5 plays of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you stay safe and have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Is going to have to get healed up by the Lucio, but Bagel getting first blooded. Yeah, could put Boise State on their back foot.
But look out for Kel. He is moving in fast, but he is going to be going up against an army as Beef and Tree doing great work taking out Plato. Chosen start out. Both these teams kind of looking, seeing what Boise State is
At least you're getting a Roadhog.
Yeah, and they're going kind of Lone Ranger. Oh, we see it from Colorado State!
But first elimination goes over to the side of Boise State with Chosen on the DPS, getting 2 main heals, main tank down. Kel getting 2 more.
Walking in one at a time, never a good idea.
Yeah, just maintaining the high ground, forcing the Rams to just push through this constant barrage of damage. This is something we've seen on Blizzard World, where you just hold the high ground and the cart can't be pushed because you just have to have an answer for this damage. Even the Maywall coming out to try to get to the high ground in time. Ground pound. We're even going to see a Mercy in the backline that has to be the Bagel this time on the Mercy, with Gob staying on this Baptiste. A great anti-nade onto 3 members, taking down both Chosen and Sunzu. Tree with the triple, also taking down Kel. Finally, Plato is able to take down at least Suba, but Frost on the point, doing their best to at least sustain to stop the aggressive push coming out from the Rams. And now the Rams even have the ult advantage.
Wait, what's happening? Did Frost just take the point on the Sombra from under Colorado State's noses? There were no eliminations.
They were too busy pooping Kel off the edge.
Frost just stole it from him.